Got my little thundercracker here. All right, welcome to episode 211 of the Zenspath Entertainment Network Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Powers, and joining me once again, we have Steven.
Hi.
And Chase.
Hello.
Chris is on assignment, living life once again. Hopefully he'll be back at some point and we can see what he's been up to. I'm kind of curious how his travels are going. But before we get into that, let's jump into what we've been doing, because I know this week we've got a lot of weird stuff to talk about, including the Indie World Showcase, because Nintendo seems to be doing every Direct except their actual damn Direct at this point. We have Nintendo versus the U.S. government, which has been kind of funny to read about. Xbox has kind of made their call on what they're going to be doing, and Sony is just really Sonying really close to the sun for some reason. Like, they are getting weird. So we'll see how it goes. But jumping into what we've been doing, Steven, we'll start with you. What you been up to, man?
Most of it's going to be covered in the group chat because it took over my life to the point where this is the only time I'll be mentioning I have not played ZZZ.
We still had to at least say the words. It's contractually in this show, I think.
And I exhausted every game they had on the Mobile Adventures cashback, so I'm done with that. And
you finally weaned yourself off from the addiction.
I check it every other day. I check it every other day to make sure, hey, are you have any more games for me? And they're like, not right now, check again. I'm like, okay. But yeah, prepare for me to gush about Resident Evil later.
Yeah, I think you and I both have some stuff in the group chat we'll talk about for that. Chase, what about you?
I've just been playing Rome Total War Remastered, really enjoying it. So
nice.
Just been sticking with that lately.
Still, when did the original Rome Total War come out? I don't remember.
Early 2000s, might have even been 2000 actually.
Okay, so this was like PS2, like late PC generation, like
yeah, it was PC only.
Okay,
I think because of the scale of the game, the Total War series has always been on PC. I think until just
I think I only mentioned PS2 because I keep thinking of time as console releases for generations. So,
but yeah, no, I'm really enjoying it. I probably at some point might upgrade to some of the other Total War games over time.
Nice,
but I mostly just wait and like peruse Steam to see like what games are when like games go on sale on my wish list and stuff.
Okay.
So I've been making your gift card stretch, Jeremy. It's been doing God's work. It's been doing God's work.
That may be the best gift I've given in a while.
Actually, I do have a Steam pickup to thank you for in the pickups. Actually, I just remembered.
Nice. Okay. See, there is something.
Digital counts.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, new games for that. And I love the fact that I can get you a decently sized gift card for Steam as a Christmas gift because you live so far away. I cannot financially ship you stuff. I'm sorry, it's so fucking expensive.
Hey, no, my Steam library is thanking you. So
yeah, but I love the fact that we're in March now and it's still going.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, just keep expecting those. It's how it's going to be. For me, I finally finished up week 4 of 3, and yes, that's not a mistake. I ended up hacking on another week of work for travel of all my trips. So now in the last 4 weeks, I've gone from Panama City, Florida to Texas, New Jersey, Illinois. Now I was in Maine. And then this week on Monday, I'll be driving to Virginia. That's not a work-related trip. That is for a family-related issue to visit my grandmother. She's been getting ill, had to go to the hospital, and is having further along issues with dementia and heart issues. So I'm getting the time in while I can because she's one of the last biggest parts of my family that's still here. So I'm going to go talk to her. I'm taking my portable recording stuff with me because she's having trouble remembering current stuff, but she still remembers a lot of stuff from when she was younger and through her life. So I'm going to take that opportunity while I can to talk to her and record it and just have stories that she can give that I can share with the rest of the family, you know, not letting that just go away. I made that mistake with my mom. We had thought my grandmother was being ill back before she passed, and I'd gotten a couple recordings of my grandma telling stories to give to my mom because I wanted her to have it. And then my mom passed away all of a sudden, and I never got any of those from her. Thought about it, but I was like, okay, I don't want to miss this opportunity again. So that's what I'll be doing next week. But after that, I shouldn't be traveling for a while, hopefully. But during all these travels, I've been pretty much going back and forth between two games. Resident Evil, Steven, you and I will talk about in a little bit because that was some interesting incidents, especially on a flight. And then Pokemon Leaf Green, which I know we had the whole debate about, oh, people were just emulating it and so forth. Jennifer has got Fire Red, and that girl is tearing through this game. Once I explained to her that she had to save, because I love the child, and I felt so bad about this, she thought it auto-saved. So she played it for hours and then just turned it off. Because she thought it was
okay.
like... Huh?
It's okay. The other people found out about the soft reset.
Yeah, oh, shit. I forgot about that.
There was updates that they made to the game that people didn't know about. They fixed a roar glitch. Only Pokemon fans might understand what that is.
Yeah.
They made it so all the special events are accessible after you beat the game, like the Elite Four. So then you can get Deoxys and Lugia and stuff through special events. They'll all just open up.
Yeah, nice. I like that they added that. That's great.
And then the... or what do you call it? And then the one that people do not like is they added a swear filter, so you no longer can call your rival asshole.
That's right. I called my rival Steven in honor, because you and I have always been kind of back and forth on stuff, like not in a bad way. It's just kind of a funny rivalry for stuff, because, you know, what I love, you hate. So it's just been kind of funny every time. It's just like, I'm Steven. I'm going to fight you again. I was like, damn it. What now? It's all in fun. It's kind of hilarious. But it's been such a back and forth going between Pokemon and Resident Evil. It's just such a weird dichotomy. But I've been having fun with it. Like, I'm having to get back into the old mechanics of Pokemon, because they were truly a grindier and more difficult time back in the day, because it did not fuck around. And it will just beat the crap out of you with no hesitation and keep going through stuff. And having to, I swear to God, I wanted to try and level up to like a Metapod or something, and you have to keep putting it in battle, then pull it back out, put something in, it gets hit automatically, then you're going on. I was like, God, I forgot how much I just got so used to some kind of XP share.
Many Rattatas and Pidgeys died those years. just so we could level up our Pokemon.
And I know eventually you do get a form of XP share in this. You have to get, I think, like 50 Pokemon in your Pokedex, and then talk to Professor Oak, and you can get something, which I think you can give to a Pokemon to hold, and they'll at least level, which is nice. But it's like, yeah, I did kind of get used to the modern convenience of just leveling them up, which I know people complain, like, oh, it's not how Pokemon should be played. And it's like, I'm a grown adult. I don't have time to sit there and just grind stuff. I only got to do it now because I'm stuck on flights. Or like my case the other day flying back on Friday, or on Thursday, we got delayed until I didn't get home until 2 a.m. So I had plenty of time sitting in an airport in Charlotte, North Carolina, going, I guess I'm going to keep playing because I can't go anywhere. So, yeah, it's been fun to play. Jennifer's really enjoying it. I've been trying to build up some Pokemon to trade with her and getting her to find ones that I need. Because her version has most of the Pokemon I want. Like, I have to rely on her finding a Psyduck. So, we'll see from there. But let's go ahead and jump over to the group chat for this one. All right. Chase, because you actually have a pickup for once, let's start with you.
Whoa.
Yeah. I want to hear about this.
So thank you, Jeremy, because I'm now the owner of Bolt Gun, because it went on sale.
Nice.
So I'll at some point be jumping into that.
Oh, did you get that bundle or no? Because I sent you that bundle too.
I actually got Bolt Gun right before you sent me that bundle. So it was like, oh, well.
I was like, oh, look at all these Boomer Shooters and Bolt Gun.
Well, the fun thing is with Steam, like, you could have talked to them and probably, if you get the bundle, they'll just discount it down to what it would be, including it.
This was the bundle that he sent me was through another outfit, but it was Steam codes.
It was like the Humble Bundle type stuff, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But they give you the Steam codes, so I mean, it would have been cool, but I guess I could have just seen if anybody else wanted the Steam code, to be fair.
I would just bought Bolt Gun off you. I've been playing the copy of my kids have, because it's on my Steam library, and I'm like, all right. Well, nice. I'm glad you're I did not realize that gift card would stretch that long. Like you're finding so
I
many games on
usually,
there.
yeah. I mean, the nice thing about Steam is like they just have so many sales. Like you could just wait and then be like, oh yeah, I'll pick this up for this. This is a good price.
Yeah, I've had that debate. It's like I like physical games, but Steam does it really nicely where it's like, okay, I'm not paying full price for it. I've got all these games. It's convenient between all this stuff. I'm like, if I'm going to have to do that for certain stuff, I can live with it.
Plus,
Like,
some games never get physical releases
Right.
from Steam because they're
Yeah.
PC only, or
PC
the
games
mods
don't.
are just too good for them. So
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I mean, it's like you can't really be mad if you pick up a game for like $2 either, and it just sits there for a while until you finally do play it.
right.
Like for $2, it's like, okay, yeah, that's fine.
And I've got games where it's like they're really good for playing on my PC, my desktop, which I used to not do as much. I played more PC games, actually, with you guys than I have in a
I only
long.
spent 30 on Tokyo Scramble.
You're the one bringing up that shame.
They're bringing up every episode.
Oh man, I don't know
He's
which
Gotta
one
get his
is
money's
worse.
worth. Gotta
Yeah,
get his
yeah.
money's worth somehow.
Right, Chase. Which one do we think is worse? Him playing Tokyo Scramble and paying money for it, or the amount of cell phone games he's been playing recently? I don't know which one's worse.
I got a
Those
return on that though.
Yeah, the cell phone games at least got him to finally buy Demio, so I'm gonna say that Tokyo Scramble is the worst.
I agree. I will go with that. That's funny. Steven, what about you? What about some of your pickups?
Well, Chase spoiled it, but I am now the first and only owner of Demio Dungeons and Dragons Battle Marked. I'm hoping that these other two guys eventually want to play a game like that. I don't know if it's their cup of tea.
I'll buy it tonight. I'll find a way to work it.
We'll see.
don't you dare test me.
I bought it on a whim, saying like, "Oh, maybe they'll want to play this one," but we'll see.
You got a Steam gift card. Don't even lie.
I actually didn't, but anyway.
Oh,
That's
okay.
funny. Nice shirt,
It
by the
was-
way.
But I got a
meant to
gift
point
card
that
for
out.
somewhere else, and I was just like, because it wouldn't allow me to get a Steam gift card, I was like, I'm gonna buy it, like I said I would.
Yeah, Steven, I
fair
was saying nice shirt. I didn't know. I was trying to point that out. The Galaxy movie shirt you got.
Yeah. PSA to everyone out there: tickets go on sale on the 9th, so I'll be getting my tickets.
Nice.
And all the chains are getting the same popcorn bucket. So thank God, everybody gets Yoshi.
You know, it'd be funny if only certain chains got particular colors. That would be such a dick move.
Didn't they do that?
I think they're all green, but it'd be.
I don't
really
think they
funny
would
to have
dare
all
do that
colors.
because then people were like, "That one's not in the movie," so they're like, "Let's keep it green."
Okay.
I think they've
I
shown.
have though bought the what do you call it? I bought the yogurt that had Super Mario Galaxy on it.
Please
And I
don't save
cleaned-
those.
And I
unless you
cleaned out
wash
the
them
cups so I can save one of each.
Okay. So we'll quite
I've gotten-
literally grow something.
I've gotten the Super Mario Kinder eggs with the toys inside, not inside the chocolate.
Yeah, you showed me those. Those were neat.
So I'm collecting those. And I've gotten the Yoshi cookies. I've baked those. Those are actually pretty good. They're just Yoshi eggs. They look awesome. But other
They
than
should
that,
have been the actual cookies from Yoshi's Cookies. Like that would have been great.
other than that,
Throw
let's
back
get,
to the E NES.
let's get Chase excited. Got Ghost of Tsushima.
Hey, there you go.
So
Yeah, you weren't here when I was announcing that I'd gotten Ghost of Yotei. I was like, man, I wish Chase was here that week. I finally have it.
Oh.
We could play it.
Nice.
I got Assassin's Creed Mirage on clearance. Found it at a Walmart. So now I have all the Assassin's Creed thus far except for Shadows. Because there's a free upgrade, I got the first Kingdom Come Deliverance cheap
Nice.
for Xbox.
Nice.
Also at Walmart, they had clearance games. Not Target had clearance games. I now own Care Bears Unlock the Magic. And this one, Chia, that won Games for Impact and did not get shut down by Jeff Keighley. So that's pretty cool.
Wow. Okay.
Also went to a classic store and realized I didn't have the Fisher Price game, so I have both of those. Plus, they came in these nice little protectors.
Yeah,
So,
those sleeves are great. I do have some of
I was
those.
like, I'll get those. Lords of the Fallen went down to $10, so I was like, hey, I liked the original because it was kind of like Dark Souls for beginners, so maybe this will be the same. I don't know. Plus, I wanted to support them because they are the guys who are trying to hire the Blue Point guys.
Oh, nice.
And
Yeah,
then lastly,
that's worthy.
because even Walmart Canada has announced that they have sold out of their entire stock, um, I have gotten now the highest rated game, Pokopia, because apparently it's the highest rated Pokemon game now because everybody fucking loves it. So I was like, okay,
I'm gonna get it eventually. I'm just having to wait.
Costco had a deal, so I was like, I'll bite. Um, and then lastly, as you saw in the beginning, I got the jukebox that came pretty quickly. I haven't tested it yet. I just opened it up to see the small little Game Boy with the
Do you
little
have one of
switch
the
on the side.
cartridges available to you right now? Because those trip me out, seeing how small they actually are.
Yeah,
Somebody put it
that's
next to an actual cartridge, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
and that's the PSA I'm going to give people
Uh-huh.
because on the box, on the back, it says you will get a collection box for storing cartridges. You know what the collection box is? This.
Yeah,
Because, and I would tell people don't throw out where the cartridges are because that's your way of storing them. Because this is how they come, is all stacked in there.
I guarantee sometime soon someone is going to make a 3D printable holder for those. And since I'm still getting the stuff together to ship to you, if somebody makes it in time, I will print you one, and I will
But
try and make it red and blue and send it to you.
let's do a size comparison. So this is a Switch 2 case, and this is the cartridge for the music.
Jesus, it feels even smaller when I saw it compared to an actual Game Boy, like a Game Boy cartridge.
On the front, all of them have the artwork for the game, and on the back they have the scene that they're going to be playing the music from.
Nice.
And basically, the connectors are just these little tiny, little notch connectors it fits in.
Okay. I was gonna get you to take some good pictures of those. I'm just curious to see.
Makes it so
I
you
haven't found
can't
anybody
really-
take it apart yet.
Makes it so you can't really mess too much with it because it's just it locks into place. As you can see, there's not really pins; those are just like something that it just sits in.
Okay. So I was right with how they do it. So
then
that's
you put
cool.
it in, and then it's like so that you can.
Okay. So I was right with how they built those. So that's awesome. That explains a lot. So all the music and hardware and everything is in the system, and it's just a collection of jumpers basically that tell it which song to play when you do it. So that's cool. If it ever becomes available again, I might try and pick it up later. I've had too much stuff going on and couldn't get it. I was interested though.
I wouldn't be shocked if inside, unless somebody data mines this, that there's yellow hidden in there somehow. But
maybe it's going to be limited by what their jumper system is because it's basically a form of binary, and depending on how many spots they have to pick from defines exactly how many tracks it can play, and that's what they'll have to stick with. They look like
and I didn't take it out of the bag, but even the manual for it is it looks like the original.
Yeah, I saw somebody open that up. It's actually kind of interesting on the inside.
But yeah, I was shocked. It came pretty quick.
2, 4, 16, 32. It's about 32-bit number system.
Now I'm just waiting on my Ocarina of Time Lego that shipped.
Yeah, I need to get. I saw that in an airport Lego store and was like, "Oh, if I could carry this right now."
I used up all my Lego points so I could get a deep discount on it.
Nice. All right, so for me, I've been picking up a bunch of stuff while traveling. Where I got a bunch of movies I was looking for in a place in Maine called Bull Moose. Great little retro store. If you're up in that area, I highly recommend it. The staff is absolutely hilarious. But a few of these are just kind of like pickups. Like I got the unrated version of Doom, which we had a full screen DVD version, and I was like, no, I want the widescreen, unrated version to get it, just because it's a terrible movie, but it's funny. But what I found that's even worse is the sequel, Doom Annihilation, which is one of those, I think, straight to DVD, like terrible movies that I can't wait to watch.
Didn't even know it existed till now.
I didn't either until I saw it. I was like, oh, this must be animated. No, it's live action. This is going to be interesting. The other two movies I was going to mention, because I got a stack of them, but these are some of the holy grails I've been looking for a while. They had a Criterion Collection version of Brazil, which is one of two Terry Gilliam movies that I wanted to pick up. I've been looking for this for a while, which is very prescient given current political world we live in, for how this kind of relates to that. And the other one I got was a DVD copy of Time Bandits, which this has been another one that it's been kind of hard to find, but it's actually, I like the fact it's actual full color art it's got the book and the disc and everything. So I'll be getting my kids and my wife to watch that along with a bunch of other movies I bought. Game wise, I picked up just a few highlights. I finally got a good copy of 1943, which I know it's not the best version of it, but I played the hell out of this on the NES back in the day. And it's one of my first and favorite vertical shooters from when I was a kid.
Can actually beat it.
Yeah, it's not a great port, but damn it, I have memories. I picked up a copy of Rayman 3D, which Steven and I went through talking about this. He guessed maybe it was Rayman 3 because that would make sense, but it's actually Rayman 3D is actually a port of Rayman 2, which I guess they didn't want to mix up the lettering for it, but I'd never played it on 3DS, so I went ahead and grabbed it. I got a third copy of The Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes, simply so I can play this wirelessly multiplayer with my kids. Because I kind of treat this like Resident Evil 5 and 6. Yeah, they're not the best games out there, but they're fun for multiplayer. Like that's the way they should be played. If you judge them on single player, you're kind of missing the point, I think. And then my last two games I'm going to talk about, one is absolutely horrible for its series, and that's why I wanted to play it. And the other one is really good, from what I've told. But I got Aquaman for the original Xbox.
I've played that one.
I have heard nothing but absolutely horrible things about it. And I was
TDK has never made a good game in its entire life.
They have not, no. But I didn't pay that much for it, and it had everything with it. And it's like Superman 64. It's so bad, I want to play it.
It's actually more playable than Superman 64.
I've beat Superman 64. That's the funny thing.
Gross.
Yeah, I used a Game Shark. I don't care. I had to because because I bought it new when it came out originally, and I was playing it, and I began a level and just fell through the floor and was stuck. Like I didn't even do anything. I just fell straight down, and that was the first time I'd ever just returned a game, going like, "No, I'm not getting this. Take it back to Toys R Us. This is terrible." I went home with episode 1 Racer and an expansion pack.
So much better.
Yeah, it got so much better after that.
You had a snatcher moment.
Right. I did eventually pick it up later just for the heck of it, and I finished it using the Game Shark and was like, okay, cool, now I can go through it. And it was entertaining, but it is rough. But the other game I got is Splatterhouse on the Xbox 360, which a lot of people absolutely love this game. I'm looking forward to it because I remember how just brutally bloody it was for just ripping and tearing through stuff, which is really fun. I think we talked about it. It came up on a discussion of a show recently. I think we were talking about remakes or something. And it got me wanting it, and then it popped up, became available, and I was like, no, I'm going to get that. I really want to play it. So
voice acting was really good, too.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Who's the guy that played the voice acted the mask?
Oh, sure. The mask.
It's quite famous. I thought it was quite famous fellow.
Was it Jim Cummings? I can't remember.
Yeah, it might be. I can't remember.
Yeah, they don't actually say the voice actors in the book.
Jim Cummings.
Yep.
That's
okay.
Really
he gave the Terra Mask a voice in Splatterhouse, so basically he was like a darker version of Pete.
Oh, it does actually have credits. There's actual pages of credits. I'm kind of wondering if it's got music and sound, full motion video, classic games emulation, because I forgot you can unlock old games.
It's kind of like when you find out that in one of the Batman animated series that Weird Al played the darkest villain.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I don't think they have the voice cast in here. That's kind of sad. Might just be production. Oh, anyway.
Yeah, but as soon as you said veteran, I was like, Jim Cummings. Yep, I was just like, I remember it was something unique. So, because we had Jim Cummings as the mask, and then when you played Darksiders, you had Mark Hamill as your little
that was a great touch. Yeah,
ghost, and you were like, "Aren't you Joker? You sound like Joker."
Nice. All right. Next up, we ended up playing Toxic Commandos last week, and that was an interesting one. I will let you guys talk about that one for a moment, but my quick input for that. It's definitely a nice looking shooter. I'm still debating if I'm gonna end up getting it or not, but I think that's gonna be like a group decision. If all of us ends up getting it, great. If we don't, I'll just let it go. But Steven, what were your thoughts on it so far?
I think because of the play style where you kind of have a main base, I'm glad Saber's doing all of our currencies are just for cosmetic play to get more cosmetics, where it's no pay to win garbage or anything like that. So that was nice. I like the format of needing gas, needing to do these little things along your missions. The demo just makes you play the one mission over and over again.
It did start us at different places, which was interesting when we redid the mission.
Yeah. Well, I think it's to keep it fresh, probably.
I think it's got appeal. I don't know if it feels like it should be a full price game. I think that's something that if it goes down to 40, I'll definitely pick it up because I think I'll get a lot of mileage out of it at that price. If it goes even lower, great. But
you said you were going to get it on console. You want to talk about why?
Well, because I want the graphics to be good.
Oh god, we have screenshots on our Discord.
If you look at if you go to our Discord, you can see what Toxic Commandos would look like if it was released on Nintendo 64.
Oh god,
nobody had fingers. Everybody had like mitts. The zombies had like triangles for legs.
I loved it when I said
the game can scale back quite a bit.
We were comparing screenshots of a picture, and your reaction, "You've got shadows," and I was like, "Oh my god."
Like they can really scale that game back because I was just like, wow, this is running on like a microwave at this point.
I think it would have run better on your Steam Deck.
Yeah, actually.
I know, but it was a demo and it was gonna like disappear from being able to play it in like 24 hours. So I was like, let's just put it on here.
We still had fun. We just really got some laughs. Like, all right, look over here. We'll both take a screenshot. Here's what it looks like. And we're just like, oh my god.
Like how Jeremy posted like a screenshot of a sign, and Swan's like, "Oh, that sign actually says something." I was like, "Oh, jeez." Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But I like it. It's it reminded me like of World War Z with cars. So
yeah,
I'm kind of hoping there's a better use of the fourth player because you have to have 4 people, and if you play with just 3 or less. They have an AI that takes over the other person, which is very questionable.
But she was amazing. She healed a lot of us.
Oh, okay. I thought she kept messing up. Like
she walked all the way over to heal me when you guys were busy. So I was just like, "You the real MVP."
Yeah, they. If you get anywhere off from anybody else, like they brutally beat the crap out of you. They start sending like these massive creatures after you. That just start beating the crap out of you, and you can't do anything until somebody comes and stops them. Like they will just beat you to death. I'm like, help me! So they're like pounding me into the ground.
Yeah, it's definitely got that.
I do like that. Unlike other ones that have it, like Call of Duty, when you got downed by zombies, you had like 9 bullets, and then you just sat there like a lump. And this one, you pretty much have almost infinite ammo because the more zombies you're shooting, you get time to live longer. It extends your life the more zombies you're shooting while
you can run out of ammo though. I found out like you can extend the time, but I ran out of ammo trying to wait for someone to come get me, and I was getting shot.
Oh, I must have had so much handgun ammo then because I was just like, I'm never running out.
Yeah, no, I ran out, and I was like, uh-oh.
Because like Call of Duty doesn't allow you to reload. It was just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's it. I'm like, my handgun had more than that.
Yeah, I do like the fact that if you do die, you kind of get pod peopled somewhere else, and they can come get you and get you back out. Which you're just spamming the come get me button. So that was not too bad. Chase, I know you had some comments about like how the gun handling and stuff in it was.
I thought the gunplay was pretty smooth. Like
Yeah.
I thought the shooting was done quite well. You can at the base you can use one of the currencies to upgrade and customize your weapon, give it better like optics, give it silencer, things like that. Actually, kit it out a little bit better rather than just being kind of basic. They definitely have definitely kind of gives you that kind of like Swan said, that World War Z / Left 4 Dead vibes. That swarm engine definitely kicks in, especially at the end of the demo.
And then, as you said, they mixed in Mud Runner.
Yes, yeah, your mud runner, snow runner with the vehicles and getting like, bogged down in the mud, and so then you got to use your winch, which I was like, oh, yep, I remember this when I used to play with a mate of mine. Um, but yeah, so we played the same level twice. Started in one area first time, started in a completely different area the second time, and some of the areas that you went to, like things weren't the same. So it obviously is kind of randomized what the map's going to be like. So that way, no two plays are the same, I guess, because obviously there's probably an expectation, kind of like I'm assuming that there's going to be a little bit of a Helldivers vibe to this, where you're going to want to replay levels multiple times.
Probably for like achievements and stuff, because there were challenges and things you could achieve as well. So there's probably
Yeah.
goals to do stuff.
Well, also because you probably at some point you probably play it at a lower difficulty, get like your guns up to a better standard, and then you'll probably play it on a higher difficulty to be able to get some of the higher level currencies, and then be able to like progress your characters and stuff.
Yeah,
Like
that
your
part
characters'
felt more
weapons
like
more.
Space Marine 2,
Yeah.
where everything we were doing was just leveling up our loadout.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I was like,
it
okay.
was very much a Helldivers 2 one, where like unless you play on certain difficulties, like some of the supply, the items we would find, you do not get unless you're on those higher difficulties. So yeah,
But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed it. So it's definitely one of those things where I'm keen to get it, and I'll get it once we all kind of agree that we'll get it.
I think
Because
it feels like I think Steven's right. We're probably gonna wait for a sale. I don't know if I would get this like day one full price, especially because we don't know how the single player is. Like, is there something fun to do if you're by yourself while we're waiting, or is it just multiplayer?
I think it's going to be like World War Z, where
it's
you
better
have to have
together.
that group of
Yeah.
4
yeah, I
and
think
stuff,
it's
and it'll be really hard unless you have real people with you. The
yeah.
World War Z with 2 players is gets really difficult.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think there'll be a story and stuff that we'll go through, but I think it's
Yeah,
gonna be like
we were definitely getting a story, and
us together.
it was throwing Gears of War vibes at me with the jokes and stuff. I was
Yeah.
like, this guy's trying to be like a discount Baird. So I was like, all right.
It felt to me like it was just trying to be like some form of Guardians of the Galaxy. The guy was just trying to be overly humorous. I'm like,
Yeah, kinda.
okay with the dad jokes. So yeah, we're interested. We'll see how it goes, but kind of go from there. Last thing for the group chat, Steven, you and I will talk about the fact we played Resident Evil Requiem a bunch this week. You actually finished it. I'm still working on it. But what are your general thoughts on this since you pushed everything away, including your ZZZ, to finish this? That says a lot right there, by the way.
I'm glad I didn't get it on PC because people said they were having issues.
Oh, really?
It seems like the biggest issue people had was with the aiming being a little floaty or off, and they give you a lot of options, but that's no excuse.
Yeah.
Because there is this, once you get the sniper rifle, you're gonna feel that it's very floaty. So that's when you're gonna finally go into your options and be like, I need to change something because it seems like I can't snipe as I would in like Sniper Elite or
Right.
Zombie Army. It's just not the same, especially Zombie Army. Yeah, you'll feel the biggest difference. So it's just not as like poignant. But other than that, no, the story was really well done. If you do get the deluxe edition, you do get some extra lore that pulls at the heartstrings a little bit. I definitely recommend that people play the remake, especially of 2, because it's the same voice actor and he just changed his voice with age. So it's cool that they use the same one.
Nice.
There's little Easter eggs to be had. I'm not going to spoil any of them except for Leon's license plate. His license plate, the number on it is every Resident Evil he's been in. So it's 2469. And back
Nice.
on 9462. So it's a cool little nod saying like, hey, that's all the Leon games. So that's neat to have. I had no, except for going up the stairs in one scene where I won't spoil where I was. The frame rate was always like, it looked 60, it felt 60. It ran really well on Switch 2. I know some of the people have been sharing screenshots from like Facebook, try to make it look as horrible as possible. Whatever.
Oh yeah, those were stupid.
But No, it runs really well. It looks really nice. And like I said, except for when I was going up this one pair of stairs where I was like, why are the stairs so complex for my frame rate? Everything else was fine. I could look at a big,
I
super huge, crazy scene going on and no drops.
I think I know where you're talking about in one of the facilities because I had the same issue going up the stairs. And I noticed the juddering. It feels like that is a loading spot and it's just trying to load a bunch of stuff in as it's going. So I'm wondering if other systems, if that's where they fluctuate as well, because the only one that you either have a high-end PC or a PS5 Pro to actually get a 60 that's fairly locked. Even PS5 and Series X fluctuate from time to time, and I wonder if they fluctuate a little bit there as well.
Other than that, like there's things they don't really teach you. You kind of have to learn yourself. Like the weapon takedowns will only happen that you saw in the trailer if the last shot you're giving them is the killing shot. So if you want to see Leon stick a shotgun in their mouth and fire it, or smack them across the head and hit them with the Magnum, you won't see it unless that is the killing shot. If you just like shoot or whatever, it's done by basically doing an aim and shoot as they're about to attack. So it's like a form of parry. Trying to play Leon in first person feels wrong and illegal. I went third person with both characters, and what I like is to create more tension if you play in third person with Grace, is when she's running, she trips. She does not trip in first person. She trips in third person to basically make you like fucking run because you know you're going to die or something like that. There's a lot where it tells you all the challenges after you beat the game, so it gives you a lot of reasons to play the game again if you want to be that person that tries to unlock more stuff. And you do get what's called the insanity difficulty, which actually extends some scenes and changes some other ones to be more difficult, which I found out, which I thought was really neat. Where like if one scene stops here, this one now goes further. I will say for you, Chase, there is going to be one part towards the end of the game that is going to scratch your Ghost Recon itch so hard it's gonna be your favorite moment in the game by far. You're gonna love it because I was just like, this is so not Resident Evil, but it's so much fun and intense. And the music's great in this because whenever you hear like a hard like Viking techno track, you know some shit's about to go down. So, so I'm just like, oh shit, because then you know like stuff's coming. But yeah, no, it kept getting better. I will say that there's a good and a bad ending, and if you pick the bad ending, it gives you the choice to go back and do the good ending.
Oh, nice. I like when they actually respect your time with that
because I really wanted to know what it did, and you get a fucking sad ending. But then if you do the right thing, then you get more game and you get the proper ending. How do you know you have the right ending? Because you get a singing song in the credits instead of just a somber violin guitar. So I was like, okay,
nice.
Other than that, another thing you might like, that's why I tell people play it in third person, is all the different ways Leon loads his weapons. Because whenever he has to load like different shotguns, he'll actually flip it over, rest it on his shoulder, and he'll just like shove the shells in. But he has like unique ways of kind of reloading everything.
It's actually legit. That's
how breech loader, isn't it?
Well, no, that's actually how like competitive like trap shooters. Like if you're doing like speed shooting competitions, that's how they do it, and they can load like 2 shells in at a time.
Yeah, because everything he does, you see like from front to back. Even if a gun if a gun's empty and it's like a 6 shooter, it shows all holes empty. But if there's only 2, it shows that everything's empty except for 2. And
nice.
And with Grace, it shows her putting the bullets actually in. With him, he's just taking a whole cartridge of 6 and shoving it in. It's just the attention to detail that if you're using the light and you need to reload, they'll put it under their neck while they reload their weapon.
That's a great touch. Yeah.
So you'll get a completely different animation for that. But yeah, seeing him reload all the different weapons, I was just like, yeah, that's one way to reload it. Because he has to be quick because he's the seasoned veteran.
Right.
He's the dude that's 51 now. So I was like, okay.
So I'm still playing it by the developer's recommendation. So Leon in third person, and then Grace in first person. Which when I go back and mess around with it, I'll play with that. But I'm going by what they recommended, and I like how for Grace, since you're having to sneak around, which is not gameplay I'm normally into, but it does make you feel hunted. So I'm very carefully trying to get around and deal with things. I've played it almost exclusively in handheld mode just because I've been traveling so much, and I don't have a dock to take with me. I'm not going to take my entire Switch 2 dock, around to hook up to a TV, but I got to say it does run and look really good in handheld. Like they've done a really good job with that. I noticed the same frame rate stutter inside the medical facility, I think, around one of the staircases, which I think is just a loading issue.
Yeah, I didn't get it in those staircases. Mine's a completely different staircase, but it would be a spoiler to tell you where it is.
No, that's fine. Mine's still fairly early. That's why I was like, it's something. Excuse me. But there was an incident the other day when I was flying back from Maine, and I would play it until it would like stress me out. I would save it and then play Pokemon for a while, which is kind of funny to go back and forth on. I'd just be like getting worked up, like, okay, I'm gonna go play Pokemon for a bit. But I'm still playing as Grace right now. One of her, I want to say later, but it's like the second or third time you play as her. And I'm going up the stairs, and there's two zombies that look like they're just having an argument. Which I love how the zombies react because they still have some of their memories, which gets really messed up. Like this.
Well, if you watch the animation of the singer, the singer actually does this with her hands the best she can.
Yeah.
And they made her like, they didn't make her really that ugly. Everybody's just like her original body model is gorgeous, and they're just like, oh, they just had a little bit of blood, and she does the thank you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But there's actually a challenge to get one zombie to beat up another one because there's one who doesn't like noise. So if you make noise, he's like, quiet, I want quiet, and he'll kill anybody nearby. So if you can kind of mess with two of them to make them think each other are doing bad things, you'll get some challenge points.
So the two I was dealing with on the top of the stairs, I ended up killing both of them. And then, I'm just going up, and there's a hallway to the right. And I take a right, and this is, I guess, one of the boss creatures that pops out. Because it just bursts through the door, and it looks like this giant fat baby. And I'm in the middle of the flight with my headphones on and forgot and just went, what the fuck is that? And people start looking at me, and I went, I'm on a plane. I probably shouldn't have said that.
Its monster name is Chunk, actually.
Yeah.
He's got a government name, but you'll find that in the files. But
okay. Yeah, I haven't found that yet. I just know it's chasing my ass around. It can tear doors off hinges, but can't fit through single doors. Though, oddly, it can't get into the foyer, even though it's a double door you think it could fit in. Thankfully, that seems to be a safe area, as far as I know. It feels like it might be set up to fuck with me later and something come at me, but we'll find out.
Yeah. In each game, there's always like a spot where it seems all the zombies will de-aggro. And at least in the hospital, it's that main hallway that has the door where you're putting the 3 crystals in and stuff like that. So that is your safe space. Nobody will follow you in there.
I've only gotten one of the door crystals so far. There's the guy laying on the floor down in a viewing area, we'll just say. Don't tell me one way or the other, but I am just eyeballing him every time going, you're going to freaking get up at some point. Like, it just feels like you're going to get up. And every time I go down, I'm watching him with my gun out going, if you twitch, I will waste ammo.
All I can say is when you're going past zombies and you see something that's context sensitive, it means something.
Yeah, I've been trying to find little hidden spots. I do like the fact if you kill certain zombies, that uncovers more keys to do other things as well, which gives you little extra areas.
The best thing is the bodies stay.
Yeah.
The blood stays. You can tell where you blew somebody up because there's still blood on the walls. The ceiling, it is probably the best blood work I've seen in a game where it just stays there now.
Oh, I blew up the chef. I eventually was like, I'm done dealing with you because you were so slow and annoying. And I blew him up right inside the parlor. And it is just, every time I go in there now, it's just a bloody mess right at the door. And I was like, I'm not mopping this up.
Because what they did was, this isn't really a spoiler.
Yeah.
Because you kind of know he was in there. But they use the zapping system, they call it, from
Mhm.
Resident Evil 2 Remake, where whatever one person kills is dead for the other one. So if you'd managed to kill everybody with Grace, Leon's going to have nothing to do.
Oh shit! Should have saved him for Leon. It would have been a fun fight. But
But
he's so slow as he's lumbering around, telling you
but
dinner's at
as
6.
Chris said when he was watching me play it, the best thing he saw that exemplified the difference between Grace and Leon was the guy with the light switch who always wants the lights off.
Uh
You use him as a mechanic because you just don't want to waste your ammo, and you make him turn off a light, and you sneak behind him as Grace. And as Leon, I saw him, I went up to him, and I just slammed his head against the wall and exploded it everywhere. And I was like, "You're gone." So I was like, "Yeah, that's the difference. One of them is being very careful and using, like, I'm going to use its quirks to get past him, and the other one's just like, screw this, pop his head."
Yeah, I figured out, like, he went over to go turn off one of the light switches, and I figured out where his head is. So then I went up, turned it on again, and backed up and just sat there with the gun. And as soon as he walked up to do it, as soon as his head lined up, I just shot right through it. I love the details they have on these. Like, I think it was one of the nurses I killed, and I shot her through the head, and it actually has part of her eye just like hanging out, like it blew that chunk of her head out. And I was like, oh god, that's detailed.
Yeah, if you're used to, like, the older games, Chase, where if you shot their legs, they would just kneel down. They don't do that off the bat. When you do that, they stagger instead. So they'll stagger to the left or the right because obviously you shot them in the leg. And there's tons to see, but you won't. But unless you are in the right spot at the right time, a la Yakuza, you're not going to get certain takedowns.
No.
Because I've seen ones where I've slammed their head and broke their neck on a bed rail, and then I've gone through where I haven't gotten that at all because I haven't been near one of the beds or something like that. So it doesn't tell you; it just happens.
Nice.
But
Yeah,
as silly as you hate it, though, having a permanent melee weapon is a lifesaver.
yeah,
I don't mind I don't mind having a permanent melee weapon, but probably having to sharpen a permanent melee weapon every like 2 zombies.
I'm about to say Leon has a permanent. Grace does not, because all mine broke, and I have no melee weapon, which is really aggravating because you find these little, almost like Disneyland, Raccoon City statues that are making noise and dancing around.
Yeah.
And if you don't have any ammo or a knife, you can't break them. She'll break everything else, but you cannot break those. You either have to waste a bullet or happen to have a knife.
Oh,
which is annoying.
People actually put in and installed a hit point mod into the game just to find out one thing, and that is when Grace pushes over a zombie, it doesn't hurt.
That's what I figured.
It's just to get out of the way.
But it is nice. You can push them and knock other ones down behind them if you do it at the right angle.
and then run for your goddamn life. So it's like,
Oh, I walk up and I just start taking headshots. Like everything is a headshot. So, but yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Like Chase, you were talking about with Toxic Commando having like really good gun mechanics. I'm surprised at how well they're working in this too, playing on a Switch 2, even on portable mode. Like aiming has been smooth. I've been getting accurate shots with the pistols and things. I was normally playing with motion control, like just an add-on to kind of help, which worked well, but I had to turn it off because I'm on a plane, and if you try and do that, it's going insane. Like you're just going to start flinging around because you're kind of moving a lot faster.
I will say, for people who, if they haven't played the remakes, even if you're pretty sure that door won't open, go up to it because it marks it on the map as locked.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go past items you can't pick up, it marks those too. Like even if you walk by it and you didn't see a prompt to pick it up, it'll keep it on the map for you. Because I'm watching
helpful.
other people play, and I like want to scream through the screen because I was like going, if you went a little bit further, you could see like that door was a key card door or something like that, but you wouldn't know until you go up to it. And that's what the remakes did too. Was when you went up to a door and it said you needed the heart key, it labeled it for later.
Mm-hmm.
You knew you could go back. And it does the same thing for locked drawers, for anything else that you can't open. It creates a symbol for it. So I tell people, like, exhaust everything. Like, look through everything.
which has been nice because, like, I found a lock drawer and then didn't get a lock pick, which is something you find later. And once I got that, I was like, okay, cool. And it's a simple lock. I'm guessing there's different variations. Lock picking is automatic. It just uses it, and I think it's a one and done. So there's not like a lock picking,
and that in itself is an Easter egg because she's Grace Ashcroft and Alyssa Ashcroft in Resident Evil Outbreak. Her specialty was lockpicks.
Oh, nice.
So that's why you get the challenge, like mother, like daughter. If you use every lockpick you get.
Oh, okay.
Which is a neat little nod.
But it worked well for that, and then like when I got the level 1 key band, it was nice going to the map, going, okay, here's the doors I need to go to because I've already marked them. Work my way through to it. I think I know where the level 2 is. It's fairly obvious, but I can't get to it yet from a different puzzle, which I'm not going to spoil. I'm still trying to find the combinations to the safes. I keep finding documentation about them, but none of them ever mention what the codes will be related to or any kind of numbers.
Yeah, you'll find them in the weirdest spots, but you will find a code to every single safe.
Okay. Like I've found documentation where they're like, oh, we changed out, these safes and this and that, but no one ever mentions the code yet. I'm like,
it's going to be in a room where it makes 0 sense.
Oh, of course. So, all right. Well, it sounds like we're having a lot of fun with it. I'm going to continue playing this week. Hopefully tomorrow at some point, maybe I get to play actual on TV again for a little bit.
When you say you've finished it, I'm going to tell you about the final challenge, which is such a complicated sequence of puzzles that people had to data mine it to figure out how to do it.
Yeah, I had one spoiled for me, which was what happens with the roulette wheel. But that's the only one I've seen. I'm trying not to look at things.
And, and that was probably the least one
nice.
to throw in you. No, this one goes far beyond that. And when I told Christian about it, he was just like, "How are people supposed to know that?" And I was like, "I don't know, but it's insane."
So the last thing I want to ask you, and there's no judgment on this, we've talked about this for difficulties of playing, for a while now, where you kind of don't give a shit. What difficulty did you finish it on?
I played it with the one that had ink ribbons.
Oh, so you're playing more challenging than I am, because I was just like, I don't really want to fuck with ink ribbons right now.
Because I knew there'd be a harder mode that I wouldn't fuck with until I had enough points for like infinite weapons. Because they all have infinite guns if you get enough challenge points.
I love going through Resident Evils with those. That's like one of my favorite ways to go back and revisit.
So until you get that, I was like, I'm not doing a harder difficulty, but I was just like, since this one is saying classic ink ribbons, I was like, I want the ink ribbons. I want it to be that way. I don't want everything to keep auto saving all the time. I know with Leon, you kind of have to.
I don't think Grace on mine auto saves. I still have to go back to the typewriter.
It's very limited. You only see the little circle once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just before like a big battle and that's it. Otherwise, yeah, you will lose a lot of stuff. But I liked it because it made me collect blood just to make ink ribbons, which was funny in itself. But
which is hilarious. But I think part of the reason I didn't want to mess with it is because I knew I'm going to be playing this while traveling so much. So, if I can save it when it's convenient every time I do something, and say I can't charge it for a while and the battery dies, because the Switch 2 doesn't last the longest every time, or if I'm playing it, it kind of runs down quickly. I didn't want to risk losing stuff just because of power loss.
It's one of the few games I'll play on just the standard level. So when they were like, "Oh, this is the classic version," I'm like, "I'll do that." All the other ones I played on regular, I don't play anything on professional or hard. I don't need that, but I want to play it like as the base game. And then when they're like, "This is for the traditional experience," I was like, "Well, there's going to be typewriters in places. I might as well utilize them."
I might, if I go through a replay later and can actually sit down and play it, add in the typewriter stuff as an extra challenge on top of it. It's just a matter of convenience of travel. I didn't want to deal with it right now. But I'm enjoying the hell out of it. Most importantly, and every time I show it to people, they're just like, "Wait, that's on the Switch?" Like, good God. Everybody thinks it's going to look like what people have been posting, like the potato-looking game. It's like
everybody thinks it's going to look like Mortal Kombat 1. I'm like, no.
Right. Like those Just so you know, that was a low-end PC screenshot that they blew up the brightness on to make it look absolutely terrible with low poly models. And basically look how Steven was playing Toxic Commando.
No,
Really
no way.
I've seen your screenshots. It's not far off.
Toxic Commando is like yeah.
Oh my god. All right. So let's jump over to our news for this week. All right. So first off, once again, we talked about Nintendo doing everything they can except a normal Nintendo Direct. We have the Nintendo Indie World Showcase, which I actually thought was pretty good. Like they had some games I was actually interested in, things like that. I love the fact starting off we had Denshattack, which was the train game that you were telling me about, Steven, and I was like, oh, cool. Now I'm just going to wait and get this on Switch too.
Oh, the demo's available now to try too.
Right, and it looks hilarious. It just looks surreally over the top. So I'm gonna download it and give it a try. You played it on Steam before, right?
I played it on Steam, but now it's on Switch too. So, I wish they had licensed Ozzy Osbourne because this game is basically Crazy Train.
Chase, is this one you're curious to at least try out?
I might give it a try.
I mean, it's on PC as well, I think, so you can get it on that.
Unless it says the license has expired, then that's yet another reason for him to get a Switch too.
Fair enough. After that, we had My Little Puppy, which this game is going to break some people, like emotionally.
I already told my friends, I was like, I volunteer as tribute. I'm going to try this. I know what the story is. So,
yeah, they're very clear with that, and I'm glad they're not like saving that to like, oh, we're going to surprise people. They were very
just like, I was like, I'll do it, guys. Like, I wasn't in the right mindset at the time to play Stray, but I was just like, I can do my little puppy. I'll do it.
Yeah, after I lost my black lab, it's been years since I lost Rascal, and I'm like, oh, this is going to mess with me because it's all about losing your dog. It crosses the rainbow bridge, as people say, and is waiting in the afterlife. And then when the person dies, so the human has passed away, now the dog has to go and find the person. So it's a rescue dog that was found in a pound, and now they're going to rescue the person to get them into heaven. And I'm just like, oh, there's going to be some ugly tears. I'm sorry, but there's going to be so many ugly tears. But I mean, it's a cool idea for an indie game. I just want to see how it goes. So
I'll let you know because they are making a physical of it too.
I'm probably going to get it. It's going to be difficult to play, but I will get it. Yeah. I'm going to have to. This next one I thought was just kind of fun looking. It's called Woodo. It's like a little comfort puzzle title with kind of a claymation looking animation for everything. And as you move things around and find where they are in a 3-dimensional diorama and place them where they go, either swapping out for the actual item that was kind of hidden or where it fits to complete a part of it, that part of the model gets full color and starts animating and like moving around.
Mouse controls too.
Yeah, and they did add mouse controls for the Switch 2 edition, which is good. And that one, it just, as you fill it out and everything is colorful, it's just kind of a fun little sit-down puzzle game, which I always enjoy. Steven, I know you do puzzle games a lot, but Chase, do you ever, puzzle game person at all?
I dabble in them every so often.
I'm a dabbler.
But, I don't usually do, straight puzzle games, but then, there was a puzzle game a while back called Catherine that piqued my interest, so I tried that one. So I dabble in them every now and again.
Okay, that's fair. I don't know, this one just seemed weird, but this next game, I have to get this. It's called Minishoot Adventures. It's a twin stick based adventure game, which made me very curious. It looks like it's one of the older 2D Zelda style games, but all the characters you play as and interact with are like little shooter spaceships with twin stick controls. And it looks like there's like love stories in it, and it's like two ships getting married. And I don't know. I love the absurdity of it, and I like vertical and horizontal shooters, and I love Zelda games, so I kind of want to try this because it just seems so fucking weird. Steven, do you have any thoughts on this one?
When I looked at it, I was just like, "Is this affordable Link's Awakening? What is this?"
Oh man, I couldn't remember if it said anything about if it was like co-op or not, but I think it might just be single player. But
I think it's a single player, yeah, because
Yeah.
it's bullet hell.
yeah, it's a Zelda bullet hell, which is a statement I wasn't ever sure I'd say. Which I guess it makes sense. We've had Zelda rhythm games at this point, so why not? Oh man. Afterwards, we had the Midnight Walk, which is, as always, I'm interested in stop motion style games, and this one looks very much like a very dark Tim Burton art style.
I thought this was going to be PS5 only when they showed it, but now it's coming.
Yeah, I thought it was too. So yeah, if we talked about it before on the PS5 showcase a while back, but Switch 2's coming out. Don't know if there's a physical release or not, but it looks like it runs well. I mean, frame rate,
like games like Lost in Random and such. It's along that kind of world. So.
It's very trippy and very, like I said, Tim Burton-y for like how a lot of the animation creatures and things are. Frame rate, I'm sure someone's going to question about it, but it is supposed to look like that. It's stop motion. So that's kind of a normal thing. Afterwards, we had Rotwood, which looked like a little fun co-op, like almost Diablo-like experience. So that might be one we look into to maybe the three of us pick up and play at some point.
Sure, we're talking about the same game, because I thought this was more like Absalom. This was the beat 'em. This was the beat 'em up, I thought.
Well, I mean, it looked like it was kind of a Diablo-ish from the actual angle and how you could build up your characters and things.
Because this one, when Chase and I, when Chris and I were watching it, we're like, "Hey, this looks a lot like Absalom, except it's 4 players, and it's exclusive to Switch 2."
Yeah, I mean, it's a beat 'em up, but it has that kind of 3/4 perspective, like almost like a Diablo, where you can get different classes and do stuff. I think we're both right in this case. Maybe it's just since you guys played Absalom, you're kind of going more towards that, and the last one like it for me was kind of a Diablo style. So I don't know. It looks fun. I like the animation.
Yeah. It's another one for Chase to put on his list
once he gets his Switch 2, whenever Fire Emblem comes out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's not an if, it's a when. We just need that. We need that actual Nintendo Direct and them to say Fire Emblem, and Chase is in. That's what we're waiting on. Mixtape was announced coming to Switch 2, which I might have to look and see how much this one ends up being. I meant to pick it up on Xbox and never got around to it because I was intrigued.
I'm surprised they didn't highlight any of the music whatsoever.
Well, we had talked about this previously and had highlighted a lot of music because they have so much music that I listened to at that age, because this is like mid to late 90s for a lot of
like this one was streamer friendly because there was no licensed music. They were just like, it has the songs of your childhood and stuff like that. But then they didn't want to like showcase any of the music.
Oh, I didn't even catch that. I was going through part of it and just, that's funny. Because I think the previous trailer that they showed for Xbox.
No, for Xbox and stuff, they went full head on with that, saying like, we have this song and this song, and it was like it was a disaster for people trying to react to it because they're like, nope, I don't want to get demonetized.
Maybe that's why they learned their lesson and changed it for this one.
Maybe.
Like I said, I wanted to get it. I'm hoping for some kind of release for it. We'll see how much it costs, but this might be the way I end up playing it. I just thought it was kind of funny it showed up. Like, we've been asking for more Xbox games to show up, and we've been getting very weird ones from them, so I don't know. All right, so this next one, Chase, I definitely wanted your thought on this. It was Deadzone Rogue, because they actually stated that they have satisfying gunplay, which is a very high bar you have to meet.
It's
like,
very high
you
bar.
Can't just call it out. And I'm curious, like, for how this looks, if they're, how it's gonna feel. I hope we get a demo. It does.
It's probably gonna at least last. It's probably gonna at least last longer than High Guard.
Yeah.
No kidding. It's still funny that High Guard ends in a couple of days, and most people didn't even know it existed.
Thanks,
didn't even know it was out.
Yeah, I was like, I thought that was for a pre-order. What do you mean it released?
You got the Jeff Keighley kiss. Goodbye.
This one supports mouse controls, which could definitely weigh in depending on the gun control. The main part of the game is a roguelite, but you can gain perks and permanent upgrades as you play. But it does support multiplayer with friends, which I want to know, does that mean that they can bring over their perks and upgrades as they go? And do they gain anything? Like, is this going to be one of those multiplayer games where only the host gets something? Like, that's going to be a big, do we even bother with this, I think. Do you guys agree?
But it's got satisfying gunplay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't mention satisfying save states. They just said satisfying gameplay,
Yeah,
gunplay.
true.
So
Be
I
interesting
don't know.
to see
Mhm.
Be interesting to see how it goes. I want to know more.
It looks surprisingly good.
Yeah.
Like, it looked like a nice sci-fi shooter. Looks like you're going through a randomly generated like ship or starbase, which was kind of cool. But I think we've been burned enough, especially Steven, you and I, for games where like, oh, we've played and done all this stuff, but because you're not the host, you don't get shit. So sorry, we have to do this all over again. And that might be a little more forgiving to a point with a roguelite because it's meant to be replayed, but then you got to deal with who's hosting, and that's a pain.
Yeah.
So I guess we need a demo and more explanation on that before we kind of make the call if we're going to consider this. So, and the last one that surprised me because I could have swore they said this was not being ported anywhere, so I bought it on PS5, is Blueprints, which felt like it would have been great as a Switch or Switch 2 title. And I guess it is, because now we're getting it.
It's got mouse controls.
Right, it's got the mouse controls we wanted. The one thing I would recommend from playing on PS5, bring a notebook and a pen. You will be writing a bunch of stuff down.
If you forget, the game will remind you, like, maybe I should have a notebook.
Yeah. I was just like, oh, I'll play this. It'll be fine.
But now I'm like, what am I supposed to do with my PS5 copy?
We still have it. It's part of our collection. Whatever. This just feels like
next to Concord.
This, at least, if you let someone borrow it or they play it, it can be played. Oh, man. But they did announce we are getting a complete on-cart physical release from I Am 8-Bit. So, damn it, I am going to double dip. This is one of those really good puzzle games that just fits on a Switch ecosystem, I think. Like, I would prefer to play this just hanging out in my room, just like, laying in bed, and I can kind of mess around with it, or while I'm traveling.
Yeah, you could be like, I did 10 rooms today. I'll do better tomorrow.
Right. It's very much, it's like Balatro. I can pick it up, play it for a little bit, and then move on to something else. It's not super involved, where you can do the runs. So, I don't know. I'm Steven, I guess you said you're gonna double dip and get this one too?
Yeah, because it's got mouse controls.
Didn't the PS5 let you use the touchscreen?
Kind of like Woodo. If Woodo is like $10 or less, then it's the perfect title to just play on the go, where you're just like, I'll just do a level today. Same thing when I played A Little to the Left, where you're just doing organizing. You do a level or two, and then you just go on. So I was like, okay.
Nice. All right. And the last thing just to throw in here, I guess. Oh, shoot, hit the wrong button on that one. It added a button to that. Whatever.
Buttons.
Yeah, I was trying to hit the little thing. This is completely behind the scenes for adding the sound effect, and I guess it keeps thinking I'm still in the chat sending messages, and it will not take me out of it. Whatever. So he keeps adding the number down to the chat. I'm like, stop it.
He's a lurker.
What did you think of the direct? Giving it a letter grade, based on our little indie direct stuff. Chase, we'll start with you. I know this is mostly shit you can't play right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I give it like a, B or a C, like an average. Like it wasn't bad, wasn't great. So average for me. Yeah. Average marks.
Okay.
Passing, still passing.
Still high.
C's
passing.
get degrees.
Right. Steven, what about you?
I'll give it a B as well. It does echo what I heard from the guys who made Dusk. They just said Nintendo is being very selective of who gets to release their games on Switch 2 because they don't want an AI slop fest. So I don't think we're ever going to get a Switch 2 version of Hentai Banana, but that's okay.
Honestly, I would rather them have a little tighter control and better games coming out. So
Because that's what it sounds like. They're at least looking at it, saying like, "What is this?"
Yeah. For me, I am going to give this also a B. I think it was a good direct. It's nothing mind blowing, but it is an indie direct where these are smaller developers making smaller games, and even the ones I was not directly interested in didn't seem bad. Like I said, it's good that there was not trash slopped in there. It's just a matter of, well, because there was a lot more games than we listed. They were just ones I wasn't really as interested in, and nobody else wanted to really add any. So I think it wasn't really for us. But it could be for others, and hopefully it's stuff they can play. So just glad to see it. All right, let's move over to the next part here. All right, so for our next story, we have, well, an interesting little take here. So Nintendo has officially filed a lawsuit in the U.S. Court of International Trade against the United States government, stating that now that the tariffs that were applied were ruled illegal by the Supreme Court, that they should receive a full refund with interest for the money they had to pay. They have cited these tariffs as the reason for delaying the release of the hardware pre-orders for the Switch 2, as well as the need to increase the cost of accessories, older hardware, and such, while trying to maintain the console cost of the Switch 2 itself. The Nintendo of America's lawyers have stated, quote, all tariffs collected under the IEEPA duties must be refunded with interest. They continue to state the government has, quote, conceded this point, end quote, with other documentations and ruling, basically admitted to a lot of it. And then lastly, before we discuss it, Nintendo is not alone in this, but they are pushing for the refund with interest. But there are over 1,000 other companies also filing suit, as well as entire states filing suit over the issue with these tariffs. So, yeah, how do we feel about Nintendo's use of lawyers now? Because, boy, this has gotten mixed reactions.
Now we're on Nintendo's side almost 100%. And now we're playing the Rihanna Classic. Bitch better have my money.
Oh, my God. Chase, how you been enjoying watching this whole situation from all the way in New Zealand going, that sucks for y'all?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's kind of funny because over here you hear about it on the news. Like when I listen to it on the radio in the morning, they're kind of, the government over here sitting back, kind of just waiting with bated breath to kind of figure out what that all means for us as well. Because New Zealand's been really enjoying the beef and dairy export. Mm-hmm. Their export industry is booming right now, and a big purchaser of it is the U.S. So everybody's kind of waiting with bated breath to see what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, just as soon as this got ruled, as being unconstitutional, they aren't allowed to do it. There's been hissy fits and other stuff as they're still trying to apply temporary ones, but so many companies have been affected by how this is just messing with the cost of all of our electronics and everything we're getting.
Yeah, not everything can be blamed on AI this time.
Right. No, there was not any intelligence involved in this. So yeah, that'll be my take on that part.
Yeah, this was an ID10T error, so
I'm curious how this is going to shake out, because the current administration, not only have they been fighting against this stuff, trying to be able to do tariffs on a whim and doing it maliciously against people, they have been going back and turning against companies that even question them about stuff if they don't let them do it or question the tariffs. And, they've been trying to force other companies to divest if they have any ties to China and things like that, which has been affecting some game developers because they're wanting them to remove themselves from a bunch of different things. So yeah, Nintendo could become a target for questioning it. And I'm curious if that's going to end up happening.
Yeah, because we didn't really put it in this episode as like a full story, but they're actually looking into Tencent now.
Yeah, Tencent, NetEase, and a few other things as well. Because Tencent, they want them to just sell all their stuff off, like basically just cut all their stuff for their games. And
But I've been reading about the follow-ups on this, and there's 189 billion just sitting somewhere. It's not being used. With interest, they'll owe more than that if everything comes to light. And right now, their excuse is it's too hard to refund, so they're not doing it just yet.
Probably because they've put the money somewhere and they don't want to have to admit where it went. That's my conspiracy theorist on that.
It's kind of like a truck driver driving a truck full of product and he knows nothing about.
Right. It's you messed up when you've got Nintendo's lawyers involved. It's like emulation or tariffs are coming for your ass. Oh man. It's just, like I said, I love the reactions online because people don't know how to handle it. They're just like, because you get those people that are automatically like, Nintendo's terrible. Oh, they overly sue for stuff. And you're like, yeah, but now they're going after something that's helping you. So how you feel about that? And they're just like, you can just see their head explode. Like they don't know what to say.
Within 1 week, they're in deep shit with Nintendo, and they got into deep shit with the Pokemon company, saying, if you do that again, we're coming after you. Don't use our font maliciously.
Yeah, they were doing that. They've also got Tom Cruise going after him, or not Tom Cruise, but Ben Stiller using a Tom Cruise clip from Tropic Thunder for a lot of the stuff. They're going like, you don't have the right to do that. Like, you're telling us all that because we're actors, we're not supposed to say anything about politics or what's going on in the government that we live in. But then you're using our art and stuff to forward your push for war. It's like, you can't have the cake and eat it too. Like, you can't have it both ways.
So it's nice. It's there's some bright spots in this year so far. So it's good.
This is, God, it's only March. Like, what the fuck?
What a year, huh? It's March. Oh.
Yeah, what a decade. Oh, man. All right. Next up, we had Xbox's new CEO, Asha Sharma, officially announced that the next console hardware's code name is Project Helix, and that it'll be playing both Xbox and PC titles, but no other info was given yet.
Oh, snap. Xbox threw their name in the hat. They're back, baby. They're going to have a system that sells 4 copies and changes the atmosphere.
Well, I wanted to get y'all's thought on this because I've been looking at some of the discussions, and like, if Microsoft takes this as a loss for the hardware, they sell it and it becomes a cheaper means to get a hopefully somewhat decent PC on your TV than like a Steam machine, while also allowing what limited games Xbox is still making that actually go on an Xbox. If that could kind of bring them back a little bit. Like, I don't know if they can get them out of the death spiral they are well into, but would this at least intrigue you to have that as an option? And I'm very curious about yours, Chase, because you just built a PC. So
it was a pre-built, but yeah, I bought one.
Well, still, yeah.
But
technically the Xbox would be a pre-built too, so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's not necessarily the worst idea. It's Xbox trying something different because they're obviously not. The problem is like Xbox, Phil Spencer admitted it, ages ago. He said, we lost the generation that you shouldn't lose, that we couldn't afford to lose, which was the PS4 Xbox One generation. And now, and so now Xbox they got to try something different. And I'm not opposed to the whole idea of the hybrid Xbox that will have access to like your Steam library and things like that, because they've already got something like that with the ROG Ally X, and more people, like, handheld gaming's getting bigger. It's actually increasing. A lot of people are getting into it. And so I think there's something there. Maybe we'll see. I mean, it all depends on price, though. Like, price is going to be key. I mean,
they already said that it was going to be like
premium,
next gen expensive.
Yeah. You expect to pay a premium, but I mean, like, what, the Steam machine? Then, like, some developers said that this is going to be better than like 70% of the rigs that are playing our game on Steam right now. So, and that's so, if it's just a better Steam machine, then,
which are releasing this year, they said.
Yeah.
Which with all the tariffs and everything else and the shortage of parts, they've also pushed back announcing how much it's going to cost for a release date. So Steam is also kind of waiting to see what's going on in this whole explosion of mess.
Well, the thing with Valve is, because, I mean, it takes, and you think that they've obviously been planning this for a while, so you would assume that contracts and deals and things would have already, like, went through, been tendered for this in particular. So actually, Valve might have gotten lucky and got in right before all this. Maybe we'll see, but yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm curious to see. This is definitely a watch this space for me. Like, I am curious to see how the market and how the gaming public will react to this.
All right, Steve, what about you?
How are you going to sell this to me? As you should get this, and if you bring back exclusive, that's one thing. But how are you going to sell this to me with the fact that if by the end of the year we're getting Steam machines, whatever price the Steam machines are, it's going to be more for Project Helix.
Yeah, Microsoft's going to have to flex
Like,
that money to
don't
bring
get
that
me
cost
wrong,
down, and I don't think they will.
I'm very grateful that they're playing the backwards compatibility card and saying it'll still play all your Xbox games. That's
We
great.
don't know if it physically will or if it's going to be a digital only. We don't know
no,
yet.
I said
and
I said that's a great start to say that,
Yeah.
especially when you have a system like Switch 2 that's natively supporting just about everything, and anything it doesn't, it's updating to do so, and it's getting these updates left and right. So it's what we wanted to happen is stuff that has an unlocked frame rate to run better, or stuff that can get like a graphic boost or a frame rate boost is getting that.
right.
So I don't know. It's just I'm kind of in the I'm not sure this is going to work for them type of thing, because I was there for the Alienware Valve machine things that were just at Walmart.
Steam Box or whatever.
Steam
Is
Box.
that what they were called?
Those you couldn't upgrade at all. So by the time you bought one, they were junk.
Yeah.
And Alienware was touting them as, oh, they're so great. And
That had the original Steam controller, which was
and Xbox
certainly happened.
The best
I actually want this
support.
new Steam controller though.
I do too.
I want one.
Yeah, the controllers are good. Like, even I want the Steam controller, but like kind of like in our Discord, what Jeremy has said, like Microsoft has done a horrible job with the Rogue Ally X in terms of updates and support, where they're just like, never mind and stuff like that. While Valve is like, we're going to continue to try to do stuff.
Yeah.
We've used most of our parts, so our Steam Deck will be kind of rare for a while. But we're still working on our Steam machines for this year. So like their lower price points now are harder to get. So I don't know. PC is becoming is becoming its own premium. So
Was that Shinoa just like throwing herself at her desk? I just hear her whole microphone wiggle.
She bumped into it with her chair, with the arm of her chair.
Tell her we said hi. Oh, that was great. I love that.
Yeah, I right now I still do not have any faith in AI Sharma. I mean Asha Sharma. So.
Yeah. So for me, I've always been into Xbox. Ever since, I finally decided to buy the original one. I've enjoyed the environment, the games, the controllers, how the hardware works. Even during the darker times during Xbox One, I was still enjoying the system while trying other stuff. Not as much as I am a big Nintendo guy. Like, I have all that and definitely enjoy it more. I will try this hardware, but this feels like it's their last gasp. Like, they either have to prove this or they go the way of Sega.
Oh, it
at least in the world
is.
of gaming. Because if they're going to ask for a lot of money, which I think we all agree it's probably not going to be super cheap at all, they're going to have to come with it being supported and worked with. If they're going to integrate PC, that means we're going to have to find out what kind of interface are we going to have, because I love my Legion Go, and the ROG Ally X is really neat for a lot of people. And I like the fact you can play so many games because it's Windows, but it is a mess to dig through. And that's like the trade-off. Like, the Steam Deck is absolutely fantastic. I am still impressed with how it runs, how it operates. It's so clean. It's like an actual handheld, even though it's all PC games. You're limited on what you can play based on the Linux stuff, but it's a trade-off. I get more to play on my Legion Go, but I hate that interface. It is so clunky and messed up. Microsoft has to have that solved. They cannot come into this half-assed and go, well, here's the Xbox interface. If you want to go to PC, you got to switch to this mode to do this or that. The moment people have to switch, or they can't look at their whole game list and click on something to play it and have it realistically, seamlessly jump between them. I get it. There's going to be limitations. They're going to lose. As soon as that fails, they're not going to have a chance really to fix that, because people will latch onto it and they will start posting about it. And it'll be like it was with Xbox One when they screwed up, when they were like, TV with everything, and the Kinect and not owning your games. Most of that never even made it to launch, but the clips caused the damage to be done. And they had such a hard time backing out from it.
Didn't help that guy saying either like, oh, we can't just flip a switch, and then somehow they found the switch.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. I mean, I didn't mind the Kinect being there. I think a lot of the stuff was kind of being overblown with it, but they should have designed the hardware a little better around it as being an option. Because I get the idea, like, if you want to have an accessory on a console be supported, include it. So people complained, oh, why is the Kinect here? But at least it would be used. Just like people have complained, oh, why does the Switch 2 making me pay for the mouse mode?
The funniest part is the fact that this underdog NEX Playground has overcome the Xbox in sales, and all it is a smaller Kinect.
That's
an all-in-one Kinect.
Yeah.
Because you play the demos and you get Fruit Ninja and all these other games that are motion-based, and now this game is selling more systems than the Xbox Series X. And I think it's one thing to announce this, but their marketing push number one should be like, we need our space back in the stores, because right now you have 1 4-foot section at my Target and it doesn't even have physical games in it.
I don't want this to be an extension of the bullshit this is an Xbox thing, which we've also been hearing a lot, that was apparently something Sarah Bond pushed that a lot of people on Xbox did not like. They felt it kind of degraded the Xbox brand, and people made jokes of it, of like, here's this stupid thing, and this is an Xbox, and it just kind of became a joke to so many people.
This is an Xbox.
Right. That's your chapstick.
This is an Xbox.
Right.
So, Jeremy, we can talk about this. You can tell me if you think I'm right or wrong.
Yeah,
I feel like with the Xbox One, I feel like Xbox was actually like, I feel like they were slightly ahead of the party, and maybe that was the problem, because the problem with them is they were all about trying to create this Xbox ecosystem. And, and a lot of that was like a digital ecosystem to some degree, like, wanting the Kinect, and then the Kinect was going to be able to open up your garage door at one point, and like all this other crazy shit.
Got a big head.
I don't remember the garage door, but that's funny.
Yeah, well, that's what they wanted to do. They basically wanted to be like a home hub, like a smart home hub thing.
I remember Project Natal, where he's like, you hold up a skateboard and scan it into the game.
I'm not going to lie. I used Kinect a lot for voice controls and for movies and things like that. I did actually use that a lot.
I loved it in online lobbies where you could yell Xbox, power down, and then everybody's Xbox would turn on.
that was kind of dumb. Yeah.
Then there was the whole running your cable box through it and all that stuff. But what I think is that I think they were slightly ahead of the party, because then shortly after everybody freaked out about them doing that, all of a sudden you had Amazon Alexa, Google Home, all this stuff, and every tech company's trying to get you into an ecosystem now, and everybody's fine with it. So all of a sudden now,
I got a Google Home in the other room right now. That's probably
it's like now all of a sudden it's
and my phone just reacted to that. God dang it! It's trying to look up what I just said.
Yeah, it's just
they're listening. Damn it,
they are. They're in the walls, man. But yeah, part of me thinks they were probably a little bit too ahead to the party, and it just wasn't the right time, because it's like, well, hang on a second, because this company did it and everybody chastised them for it, but now all of a sudden you're okay with it when these companies do it. I don't know. It just seems a bit,
because most of the stuff they complained about, one of the biggest missteps was the whole trying to make it where your games can't be sold. That was a complete fuck up, which I'm glad it never happened. But that stigma and even the question of it burned them bad.
And that short video that Sony made, how to share a game with your PS4 with your friend, and then they handed it to the, here you go,
that was
friend.
absolutely perfection.
No, it was.
Like, that is how you fuck with competition. I love that.
And it's weird that people overlook the point that when Series X and PS5 came out, that Series X had the brilliance of having smart delivery, which I still tout to this day as being the best feature of it, while PlayStation makes it like a hassle and a half to try to find the PS5 version sometimes, or it installs both versions, and I didn't ask for that.
Yeah. Which has been handy because, like, I have a Series X, I have a Series S, I still have a Xbox One X and a One S hooked up in different parts of the house for different things. And the games that supported all of them, I can just move between them and it will automatically move over my game saves and have the version of the game that runs best for that hardware installed without complicating everything else. It just goes, okay, this is the best of what you need. Here you go. You're done. And we need that level of convenience on this Xbox Project Helix.
I am quite curious because you have this Xbox app on PC, on your PC as well. Mm-hmm. I'm actually going to like just every now and again open it up, and I'm just going to check and see, because if we start to see this change over time and update, potentially, like, this might be relatively what we can expect to some level. With
I think it has to be something a little more dedicated, because if they do that, they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot. If your existing PC becomes good enough to run most of it, why do you get the hardware other than the convenience to having it under your TV?
They throw shit out there to see if it sticks. Yeah. Anybody remember Xbox Glass? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that. I also remember what was it? Games for Windows. Oh my God.
So get started on that.
Yeah. You couldn't get started on it then.
Yeah, that's you caught me on that one. I walked right into that one.
So many games lost to that shutting down. Oh. So yeah, Microsoft needs to sort their shit out for this to be hopeful. And I want them to be successful, because as we're going to learn in our next story, without competition, Sony gets weird. Like, they need legit competition.
We'll probably also have to keep in mind, especially with Jeremy and I, Swan might be a different story. Swan might be the person that they're actually targeting for this product. You and me, Jeremy, might not be, because we have decent high-end rigs.
And the entire existing Xbox library of stuff, too. So,
but Swan, maybe then Toxic Commandos doesn't look like an N64 game.
Seriously, go to our Discord and look at the screenshot differences. It's fucking art. It's so great how bad it looks.
But also, by having a console have PC titles, you run the risk of not only do you need an installation path, do you need a desktop mode, is now you're going to get PC errors. You're going to get DirectX. You're going to get shaders. You're going to get like all these tweaks that are not streamlined for people to mess with. Steam Deck
still has those problems.
Valve name to go towards the Valve Steam people. The Steam machines are also marketed towards the Steam people, and then hoping word of mouth gets it to the general public. But Xbox is all about the general public with their messages half the time. So I feel like people are not going to be patient if there's any errors.
Yeah, you're going to have growing pains with that.
People aren't patient, period, Swan. So
no, they're not. But like, the Steam machine is great and the Steam Deck is great, but there's still a lot of issues with that. Like, yeah, you can have a whole huge library of games, but you don't know how they're going to work on these hardware. Because even when Valve says like, oh, it's, Steam machine or Steam Deck rated, that's becoming less and less of an experience as time moves on, because the games are becoming more difficult to run, or they just haven't been tested and you have to hope and see what happens. Like Batman Arkham Asylum completely breaks. I can't play it on there. Arkham Origins, it let me play it, but then it freaked out during the boss fight and then it broke. So it was kind of back and forth, but then Arkham City and Arkham Knight run fine. So it's kind of a weird of going through everything.
And some games, it's very obvious that's not compatible because there's it needs a keyboard for what it's doing. But other ones, it's just like, oh well, this has mouse controls, so it's not verified with Steam Deck. I was like, bitch, there's 2 mouse pads on my Steam Deck.
Well, it's like
Figure
Street Fighter 4. It says is not supported on Steam Deck, and it runs flawlessly. And I'm like, I've yet to find a problem. But what is causing it not to be supported? I don't know. And I think that's just inherently, and Chase, you're probably seeing it more now as well, and I've kind of learned it over the years. PC is kind of a Wild West. No matter how good you are with it, random shit's going to happen. You're going to potato mode some games. We're just going to forever laugh at what happened with you, Steven. The game looked terrible, man. Like, what the hell? It looked like it was scanned in with a Kinect.
Yeah.
All your environments were scanned.
And believe it or not, right now, Switch 2 has better voice chat than Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Because Steam Deck can only pretty much work on a game-by-game basis of what those have. Because there is no... I tried using Discord, and while people said it could work, it either kept freezing or wouldn't load my Discord properly to hear it. So it's either I used Discord or I played a game. I couldn't do both on a system that's supposed to be a PC. And I was just like, can you guys please make some kind of designated chat? Because right now, Nintendo, of all people, have a better chat system with the Switch 2 than the Steam Deck. And that's the only thing that
how well it works.
That's the only thing that hurts it, and it's the only reason I will not be playing this new game that you guys didn't check out yet, called Demio. It's called
You motherfucker.
I'm going to be playing it on my laptop because then I can chat with hopefully some people who want to play it. I'm still waiting for somebody to get it. I know Chase has it on his wish list, so hoping that one day we get that. But
I will buy this tonight.
Dirty. Yes, so will I. I have a trip I have to drive for. I will waste the money and do this. Honey, forgive me. Oh my God! Don't you do not get the high road on this one.
Well played. Well played, though.
Oh, you. All right. So this kind of leads into some of the Sony stuff, which these decisions of what Microsoft is doing is directly affecting them. So let's jump into that part here.
Sony can do no wrong.
Oh, Sony done a lot of wrong. So the weird moves of PlayStation lately after closing Bluepoint Games has been a list. So we're going to include all 3 of them in this, starting with the fact Sony has announced that moving forward, they will not be doing PC ports of their titles, starting with the upcoming Wolverine. And a lot of this is believed to be because Xbox will be supporting PC on their hardware. So Sony has been touting and happy to get all the Xbox games on on PlayStation 5. I have Gears of War physically on PS5, and it feels like I have done something so dirty that is the physical copy I have. I bought it, Chase, and I feel ashamed. I know. I don't even have online for PS5, and I'm just like, fine, I have it, whatever. I haven't booted it up. It feels wrong.
Yeah. Like first-person Resident Evil.
Yeah, in some cases. I would agree with Leon. Grace has been fine. But then the possibility that Microsoft could have the Sony games playable via the PC side of things through Steam has caused Sony to flip out and just completely shut the door on that. They've also said they're not selling as well, but their ports have been decreasing in quality, so people have been hesitant to get them. And it's kind of like we want everything from you, but then we're throwing a fit if you dare to take anything back to use from us. It felt like pulling teeth for them to get Helldivers 2 over there. And that's how I prefer to play it now. It's been nice. I can sit on the couch and play it more comfortably. I didn't have to buy a whole thing of PlayStation Plus to do it, but they're still getting money from me as I try and get my dear electric gun back. I miss it. You guys like the fact I haven't killed you as much with electricity this time until I get it again. But it's just Sony taking that very weird step with it. And then the second part of this, after they announced that they're stopping PC ports, they officially announced a PC-ready version of the DualSense controller with USB cable and everything, specifically made to hook up to your PC and give you better functionality of PlayStation games on PC.
They're going to do the Capcom thing. If enough of these sell, we'll bring back the games.
Oh my God. It's almost like Microsoft at one point where one side was not talking to the other, and they would announce something and the other side would completely contradict it. Sony is doing that now. It's like, why would you buy this controller if the games aren't going to be there anymore? And vice versa. And I thought the DualSense worked on a PC anyways.
It does.
So then what is so different? Yeah, because they even say this version you can use on a PS5. So just get a PS5 controller. Why do you need to buy this PC-ready version that costs more? It's like a good bit more expensive.
It only costs more because you get a cable.
There's cables everywhere. Just go buy a damn cable. Like, it can't be that much.
This is a Sony branded cable.
Yeah. And speaking of cost, the last thing that they've done, which will round out our discussion as we go into this, and this one tripped me out when I found out about it.
This one's actually not too bad.
It's gotten pretty bad for some of it. Sony has been found to be testing out dynamic pricing for their titles digitally. So players are finding that they are being offered different prices on games than other people. So, this could be different discounts or different cost levels of things. So, we knew, like, Chase, obviously where you live, some games tend to be more expensive. But, like, Steven, there could be a difference between you and I buying the same game. You might get it cheaper for some reason than I will, even though for reasons we don't know. And dynamic pricing has been rolling out in different places. Like, they've caught it in Target and Walmart, where people will walk up and they'll see the digital price tag change, where the price has changed for them with AI and all this other stuff. And it's become this whole issue. So this has been shown different discounts, different people. Helldivers 2 for some saw it listed at a 25% discount, while others had a 56% one, with no clear reason as to why that discount was applied. Ironically, Sony also put out a PS5 feature that lets users see what the lowest price for a given title has been within 30 days, so they can see if they're getting the cost or not. But it hasn't been proven yet if this shows you everyone's cost in relation, or if it's just sticking to what you have and you still can't see other people's discounts. So, yeah, whole slew of things we have to discuss for PlayStation. Steven, any of these you want to start off with?
PC ports, I was surprised they even threw their hat in the ring to begin with, because all it did was just detract people from PS5, saying, I'll just get it on PC, I can make it look better, I can do better than Pisser can.
I mean, they're still getting money for those games. I mean, if you're not going to buy the hardware.
But it also hurt their reputation, because God of War was a disaster on it.
Yeah.
Where it needed all these things, and having that, I guess they're finally washing their hands of that PlayStation Network compliance thing, because they're just like, it's too hard to do on PC, so we're just going to stop doing on PC. Having a PC ready version of the controller just sounds like something Sony does. They make something for absolutely one purpose and nothing else. And then lastly, at least the dynamic pricing is not raising anybody's prices. It is only It is only price drops. They already confirmed it's only price drops.
It may not be raising the price, but it's still making it more expensive for some players over others, which still seems very weird.
But it's still not more than the base price. That's the biggest thing, though. Nothing is increasing in price to try to gouge them or anything like that, which is
Wouldn't
nice.
It still be gouging if I'm being charged 100%, you're being charged 50%, and we don't know why? Like, that sale doesn't translate?
That's basically like, unlike Switch, where they don't care if you have the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing you get from that is perks. Game Pass gives you a discount.
Right.
PlayStation Premium gives you a discount.
Which I understand those, yeah.
You don't get those discounts otherwise. And sometimes Xbox even gives me a freaking pop-up when I start up my thing saying, for this weekend only, we're giving you, and they specifically use the word you, 85% off these games. And I'm like, okay. And we know all our systems are collecting data. Nintendo even said that the Pokemon game is Leaf Green and Fire Red is collecting player data, because it's basically checking on what Pokemon is the most popular, who the most battles with, most caught, and they're going to use that to, like, know what to market which Pokemon. And that's how they're
Yeah.
using that data. We know Xbox is collecting data. We know PlayStation is collecting data. And I think the way they're collecting it is they're using all of your playtimes and what games you have put playtime in to gauge your discount. So if you have Helldivers or if you've played it insane amount of time, they're not going to give you any breaks on the price. But if you're the new person who hasn't played it, you have no playtime on it, they're going to give you a bigger discount to kind of give you a way in, which I'm okay with because it's kind of like you get a good deal at a store too. It's just okay, somebody just got a cheaper deal than you. There's probably a reason behind it, and the reason is probably your data. Your data is showing that you don't play those games, so those games will be inherently cheaper for you. It's a wait and see to see if this algorithm they're using
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. Because for me, like if they, uh, if they gave you guys a huge discount on ZZZ stuff, that would make perfect sense. But then if they're saying like, oh, this new Saber game is cheaper for me than for you guys, then that wouldn't make sense since we all play the Saber games, Space Marine and the like.
Right.
So it remains to be seen if there's ever going to be something where it doesn't make sense, and what I mean where it's if we all play the same game together, same amount of time,
Mm-hmm.
but then we all get a different discount. So like something like I can't say Helldivers because Chase has played more than us, so he doesn't deserve a discount now. But same thing with Space Marine because he already has a new outfit and everything like that. But something that we like Zombie Army, if you guys got a discount and I didn't, I'd be like, we all played this pretty much the same amount. So what the fuck?
Yeah.
But if it's using data to do that, then let's just see if it works because this might be how they get more people to get in on a game they're just not sure of when everybody else already has it.
I think the issue with me, and mind you, this is not happening in the US yet. This has not been rolled out here. So the examples of us is just theoretical. But it makes me question if I go on and like say I'm going to buy something on PlayStation. Like I've been debating about getting PlayStation Plus again, which I haven't had it in years, but getting it only for the fact of just some more titles that I already own, the three of us can play. And we've talked about that before, like, hey, it would open up, these extra games we could mess around with because, we dive through our whole libraries of what we play and change it up all the time, which is fine. It's fun. But it puts a hesitation with me if I go in there and I want to buy something. Am I paying more just because, we don't know what this algorithm is looking for? If I see something as, X amount off, you always have the assumption that's what it is across the board. And I'm just waiting for it on Discord because we've got spots where we have deals and such where we'll see a discount or something going on sale and we'll share it with each other, where you're going to share it and go, hey, this is 50% off. Here's the thing for it. And I go and it's only 25% off because maybe they think I don't play enough or I don't own enough PlayStation games. And like, I understood the discount being inherently tied to Game Pass and Plus. They were clear about that. So it's not like I was surprised by it. It was there. It's just like when Best Buy had you could pay for their gamer or whatever thing, you would get a discount or certain extra bonuses. I get extra stuff because I pay for my GameStop stuff. So I get to buy 2 get 1 frees and all that. I understand perks that are laid out, but are universal. Anyone that has that gets the same deal. But the moment I'm looking at it and I'm like, am I getting a good deal? Or am I going to get less of a deal because I'm not loyal enough or I don't have enough games or I didn't put enough time into X or whatever? And it makes me hesitant to buy anything because now you've put a doubt in whether or not you're screwing me or not because I don't trust corporations. They will do that. And is it going to be one of those things that changes on the fly? Like I said, Walmart and Target have both been caught doing this in the US where people are videoing it. They walk up and as soon as it detects that they're there, these signs are updating and making things more expensive or for some people a little bit cheaper. And we don't know the reasons for what's doing it. And I think things need to be consistent to be fair because it's a very slippery slope where, if they are judging like, oh, you don't have enough games, so we're going to charge you more, that you're affecting people that already have lower incomes that are just trying to get into gaming and kind of cutting them out and benefiting. There's people that do have a lot of money that they found going to these stores that are getting bigger discounts as a reward for them going there more, or they know they can afford more, so it entices them. So people that already have more are now getting more for less, which affects those that are already having trouble affording. Gaming is a luxury, but they could very easily kind of price out people that are just trying to get the basics to play. That's my worry.
But it also might be like the person who just gets this PS5 for Christmas. They log in and it says like, "Hello, new user. As a new user, we've dynamically priced your games at 20% off."
And I think that would be fine because it explains it. I think are you understanding kind of my issue is there's no clarity to it? Like,
yeah, because again,
I think that's my problem.
It.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, they're testing it. So like,
I get that. If it is like, hey, you're new, welcome to PlayStation.
I don't have the dystopian Target feature yet where they change the price depending on what kind of face I make at the price tag. But
yeah, that stuff's weird. I hate it's because it's a lot of the surveillance state for that with AI where they're tracking, the facial recognition. They're looking at like your financial stuff that they can see, and it's too much information being used, I think, in a very bad way. And I'm glad they're getting called out on it, but I don't know if it's going to stop it, which is kind of annoying.
Yeah, I again, like other than some people who just said, what the testing looks like. I think it's just like it's exactly that. It's testing.
Yeah, it's just such a weird thing to do.
So I've had tons of people complain about little things, everything from when they had gold coins for Nintendo and they're like, "Oh, mine expired. It's not fair." And I'm like, "Well, you just use them or you don't."
Yeah, they're clear about that though. They tell you have a date on it.
They don't tell you when it expires. It just expires after a couple months. So sometimes sometimes it wouldn't be the correct region for your coins, and you'd get mad at that. So I was like, that's probably why they stopped that, because they knew their system was region free, and it was just getting too complicated. So they're just like, well, you can still get your platinum coins if you do stuff on your system, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And it was just little things like that. Sony was doing it for a while with their Star program where you could
that died fast.
You could do all those basic missions and you could get like avatars and you could get collectibles, which were pretty cool. And they're like, oh, if you save up enough, you'll get a permanent discount on games. So they were all already doing like the more you play, the more you spend, the bigger discount you're going to get. They were all dealing with that. Even Xbox did it, saying like, if you can get to this level, you're going to start to get a discount on everything because of you. So, but they all stopped that. So they didn't want a pay to win a discount type thing. They'd rather have a play to get experience to earn things instead. So, they did it with Game Pass where you'd keep going in and you'd get points, you get enough points, you get a $2 gift card. But at least it was a $2 gift card.
That kind of leads to an issue though, where it's like, if you have a Steam sale, everybody, no matter how much time they put in or have available, gets that same sale. But if it becomes something where you have to play some X amount of hours to qualify for it, then you've got people like me that I don't have time to play that much. Like I have my time, but I have work and I travel and do these things. So now I'm having to pay more inherently because I can't sit there and benefit them more by playing more, even though I pay them and do these things. And it's like, it's very, like I said, it's a slippery slope of how that goes.
Yeah.
The clarification is what they need to have.
It happens once in a while with Steam too. They did it with Yakuza, where they said certain versions of Yakuza will be able to upgrade to the remastered Kiwami version, no problem. But if you got this version, those will not update and it will actually be delisted. So if you bought that one, sorry. But if you bought this one, you get an upgrade. So
yeah, and that's just them dealing with other publishers.
Did I buy the right one to get an upgrade type thing? So they would have that issue too.
Like for Steam, one thing I like that they do, and Chase, this, like, what was the game you bought earlier that he sent you the sale, but you'd already bought it? Which one was that?
Bolt Gun.
Yeah, Bolt Gun. Thank you. But like, even for Bolt Gun, if you went in right now to their store and they had some bundle deal on Steam, they would go, hey, you already own Bolt Gun. We're going to discount this amount on it. So you're paying this amount less to get the deal, even though you already have the game. So you're not really being punished. They're just going, cool, you've already got it. You just want the extras. We're not going to charge you full price, and they show it.
Yep.
And I think that's the boiling of all my argument is all these practices are so hidden we don't know what they are. And if we don't have clarification of what they're doing, it's very easy for them to do the wrong thing because they don't think they're being caught. Exactly.
If you want the digital Generations pack for Resident Evil on Switch 2, you have to go into the game details, like where you get to look up how many players and how it's played and stuff like that. And in there is the only place where it tells you that after the 31st, this bundle deal is no longer available. It's gone. You have to purchase everything separately.
Yeah, so, I haven't looked that up because I ended up getting the key card releases. But
so the deal will delist at the end of March. The games will still exist, all 3 of them, but you'll no longer get them together. You'll either have to wait for Capcom to do one of the Resident Evil sales again, or get the physical that's hard to get as well.
Which, I mean, we waited for Resident Evil 6 before it went on sale, and I think I paid just under $20 for it. Like waiting for for stuff like that, so which was good.
Because that's also got people in the mindset like that if spoilers don't bother them, they're just like, I can wait until this game gets cheaper. And I'm like, yeah, all the Resident Evils eventually got cheaper.
Yeah.
4 remake didn't bother me because I played the crap out of 4, so I wasn't gonna miss it. I wasn't gonna miss anything.
Yeah.
So I was like, that I waited until it was $20. Resident Evil 2 I played already, so I waited until the remakes. I could wait until it was $20. But a brand new entry in the series, I was like, fuck no.
Yeah, and I've been glad that has been
7 and 8 said when 7 and 8 said you're not going to recognize anybody in here, I just said okay, so I won't get spoiled because I have no idea who these people are.
Right.
But when 9's like, we got Leon, I was just like, you got me then.
But like even with that case, the extra stuff in Resident Evil 9, I can go in on the store with my copy because I don't think I have the extra content with the Generations pack. I can still pay a discounted amount to get that, to add it to my game, and I can do that knowing, okay, this is the amount they're offering it for. This is how much anybody that has this already pays. The moment they introduce the fact that, I could get this DLC or this add-on, but I don't know, am I paying more or am I paying less? And it makes it less of an impulse. And I'm like, I have to now research and see what other people are paying for it. And am I getting the good end of this deal? Am I getting the bad end? Okay, why am I getting the bad end? Or vice versa. And it actually makes me hesitate to buy things if I don't trust the store.
Sony, the best way to test this dynamic pricing is give everybody the option, like on Steam, to gift the game to somebody else. And then see how many people do that.
Well, I know if I do that with Chase, he's going to make it last forever, apparently. I am impressed. How much is left of that card?
$16.
Jesus, you have stretched $50 out a lot.
Well, conversion.
Or no, was it more than that? Yeah.
Conversion rate 50 US translated to 85.
Nice. You're accidentally welcome.
That's like the price of like half a DualShock.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
So you're getting a better deal out of the money that I spent, but at least we understand the why. I think that's my biggest thing that I'm getting caught up on. I don't like. There's no rules to it. We don't know the explanation, and if they put those out, I would at least understand what it is.
And that's why I'm giving them a buy here.
Yeah, it's a test.
Because
it's just weird.
They said testing. If you said rolling out, then I'd be like, what the hell are you doing? Yeah. But if they're saying testing, I'm like, okay. Things can blow up in your face, and you can be like, it was just a test. You don't have to be like Discord and be like, we were kidding about the age thing for now. We're going to do the later half of the year.
Yeah, we're
going to give you the option to give us a credit card instead of an ID. And I'm like, so you just made it worse. Thank you.
Yeah, you've already got my payment information because I pay for the stuff for our Discord
channel. But they
channel.
want a picture of your credit card, Jeremy. What could possibly go wrong?
Oh, so much can fucking go wrong.
It's not like they got they didn't get a breach recently, did they? No.
They got a couple of breaches, not just one. We weren't breached. We were completely fucked. Oh, God. All right, so before we move on, the last thing I wanted to talk about more is the Sony PC port issue. Because with that, this is more of like, we pay attention to a lot of the discussion around topics, and I find it so funny how these go. So there was always a discussion that like Microsoft, it was fine with them putting their games on PlayStation. Oh, they need to be played in more places. There'll be a bigger audience there. But there was always a kickback of why we don't want to put games on Xbox from PlayStation. They didn't want to share. And they were at least putting them on PC and now they're pulling those back. And the same people that were arguing that, oh, Nintendo should put their games everywhere, oh, Microsoft should put their games everywhere, oh no, it makes perfect sense why Sony would have their exclusives only on their hardware. You need a reason to buy it. Like, that doesn't somehow apply to the other systems. And I find that weird dual-mindedness of it, that will have the complaint that everyone should be able to play everything.
So
except for PlayStation, you should only have PlayStation.
So if Sony was a planet and you could mine it, the two most available resources you could get, the most common resources, would be copium and whatabouts.
Chase, go ahead.
Yeah, so with the exclusivity thing, I think the difference with this is, and this is just the way I'm looking at it, but so Microsoft went the route of the publisher. They've obviously made a deal to release these games on the PlayStation, and they're obviously getting a financial return for it in theory. The thing with the whole, now that the Xbox might be playing PC games and stuff like that, Sony hasn't necessarily made that deal with Microsoft to publish their games on a Xbox console, so I can kind of understand where they're coming from a little bit in that regard. Like, they've obviously said that we don't want to make that deal, or we don't, so we don't want necessarily the fact that we don't necessarily want the fact that Xbox users can access our games. So
which I find so weird, because it's still a fucking PC in the end.
Yeah, I
that's like saying, like, if you have a ROG Ally, you can play our game, but if you have a ROG Ally X, you're blocked.
Sony has always been in the business of gatekeeping, and they will continue to do so.
Oh, it's Magic Gate. That's how their memory cards work and everything.
Until it hurts their bottom line, they will gatekeep until the end of time. I'm not doubting that at all.
Oh yeah, no, I get it.
They did that with crossplay until finally they were like, okay, if even Xbox and Nintendo can play with each other.
Oh, they were forced.
We're probably missing out on a gold mine here. Yeah. Fine. So then suddenly Fortnite was compatible.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like, Xbox,
they want stuff on their terms.
Yeah, they always have, but it's, well, I say it's a Japanese company, a Japanese-minded company, but it's kind of an American company now at this point.
It's run by an American now. It's not run by anybody from Japan.
But
well, even with Fortnite, like, they took the step. They were so against crossplay that if you played your Fortnite account on a PlayStation, it permanently banned you from being able to play it on other systems. So if you ever even tried it on your PS5, you were locked out of Xbox and Nintendo. I was like, that was petty as shit.
Now you're only locked out of 120 countries.
It's the same thing. Yeah. Well, it's kind of the same thing with online gaming, period. Like, Microsoft and Nintendo kind of got drugged kicking and screaming by Xbox into that, like, landscape. And the HD, with, like, using HDMI and, like, getting into HD gaming and all that stuff, like, Microsoft kind of just drugged both of them kicking and screaming. Because
it benefited them to be, like, console and PC talking to each other, because they were in both playgrounds. Yep. Like, they were like, yeah, this is fine. We'll slowly start making more games that talk to each other and do that. And it just grew from that.
The interesting thing, though, is that, like, with the exclusivity point too, is that one of, like, what's her name, Asha, whatever, when she got announced as a new CEO, one of the first things that somebody sent her was, like, this thing about how, like, I hope you understand how important it is to have exclusives on our console. And,
I hear you.
Yeah, and then she replied with "We hear you." Whether or not that's, I don't think they did.
That's because all their AI is listening to you right now.
Yeah,
that's
probably,
why.
Probably.
Yeah. That wasn't her responding. That was Grok.
Yeah, probably. But, like, so obviously,
no, it wasn't
like,
racist enough to be Grok.
Yeah, but, like, obviously, like, Xbox fans feel the same way. Like, they're like, hey, can you please stop, like, releasing the Xbox exclusive games to other consoles?
And I think we all agreed, like, the multiplayer and co-op stuff, like, as much as it felt weird, okay, Forza kind of made sense, even though that was, for things like that. But, like, single player games or things that should push you to get an Xbox felt like they really shouldn't. And even for Sony, Helldivers 2 made sense.
Yeah.
God of
I
War
think
felt a
so.
little weird, but I mean, for PC releases, it's kind of the middle neutral ground for everybody. They're still getting the benefits of selling the games, but they don't have the hardware part to deal with, and it goes back and forth. So.
Just to give my 2 cents on the dynamic pricing
Yeah, go
thing.
for it.
With the dynamic pricing thing, I think because like I know Uber Eats has been like uses it quite a bit, especially they found it at least over here. I'm assuming it's everywhere with them, and I think Swan's kind of on track. But I mean, Jeremy's right. Like we don't know what the algorithm is or like why it does what it does. But I think Swan's kind of on track with what it's doing because in Uber Eats over here, they've kind of figured it out that it's, you know, you don't tend to eat Thai food. So what it might do is it might discount Thai food a little bit heftier than somebody who does eat a lot of Thai food because you're obviously willing to pay the price anyway because you like the food. So somebody that doesn't eat Thai food, it'll discount it a little bit more and then to try and incentivize you to maybe try it. And so I think Swan was kind of on something with like, if you play a lot of like shooter games, Helldivers probably isn't going to get discounted as much for you because you obviously like shooters and are willing to pay a little bit more for shooters.
Right.
But somebody who doesn't play a lot of shooters, like, hey, this new Helldivers game is really freaking awesome. Everybody's playing it. Here's a, 35% discount or a 50% discount. If it's something like that, I kind of still agree with Jeremy to a point. Like, probably should be same across the board for everybody. It's a little bit more fair in that case, but I kind of also...
Or at least clarify. Don't just make it mysterious for everything.
A good example that you already brought up here, because I can literally say I've gotten it, was I got a card in the mail from DoorDash saying, "We miss you. 30% off. Only works on my account. Doesn't work on my wife's. Doesn't work on Chris's. Works on my account because they miss me." Chris orders enough food. They're happy with him. But DoorDash
up a new wig.
But the thing with that is you know why you got it.
Yeah.
Same thing happened with Amazon until people caught on and all used it. Was you would put something in your Amazon cart and leave it in there. And if you left it in there long enough, Amazon would be like, "Do you want to buy it? How about 5% off?" That's cheaper than everybody else now.
I've done that.
So maybe now you'll get it. But there are some stores that were just like, "Hey, you left something in your cart." Now they just do it as an annoyance, like you left something in your cart. But back then, Amazon would be like, "How about a discount if it's still in your cart?" And that was like just incentive now that you didn't get for your thing you left. You didn't have anything in your cart. So they got rid of that. And now it's more, even with the streaming service. I don't have Disney Plus anymore. But now instead of paying what I used to pay for it, I just keep getting the offer over and over again after I just had it for 3 months at $5 a month. Before then it was like $10 a month, so it was double the price. I stopped again, and now they're like, "Do you want to come back? How about $5 a month again?"
Yeah.
So everybody does it in their own way.
I think
that. I just think that video games is a harder market to gauge.
Yeah, this is where I think I agree with Jeremy on the transparency part because this is going to be a little bit murky.
Like at this point, Jeremy should have got an email from Sony saying, "We'll give you half off PlayStation Premium for a year."
No kidding.
I probably did, but I'd have to turn on the PlayStation and go through updates first.
Price. Just please sign up for the damn service. We haven't seen you in 18 years or something like that.
Yeah.
So his would make perfect sense of why they're giving him a huge discount on PlayStation.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I probably did get that notification. I would just have to remember to turn my PS5 on, go through updates, and hope the message is still there.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't necessarily the same, obviously, with dynamic pricing, but the telco industry has always been kind of weird with this, where like the telco industry has been completely designed around just like the idea that customers are just going to switch services like every couple of years. So like, because my parents, they stuck with, back in the day it was Sprint, now it's T-Mobile, but they stuck with Sprint for like all these years. And one of the things that whenever my parents went in to like upgrade a new phone or do anything like that, like, they would have all these like posters up on their walls saying like, "Oh, all these amazing deals and stuff like that. And when my parents would ask about, because they had a business account through them, when they would ask them like, oh, like, can we get access to these deals or anything? They'd be like, oh no, that's for new customers coming in.
I used to work at Nextel and then later Sprint, so I'm very aware of all that stuff for both the sales side of it, retention, all that stuff too.
And like my parents were like, yeah, but we've been with Sprint for like 10 years. Like, what's the benefit of sticking with them or whatever? And they said there isn't any. And it's because all these telco companies expected you to just like want to switch over just to chase the deals. And so they were like, yeah, you'll leave to go to like Verizon for, their 2-year contract, but then we'll post a really good deal and you'll come back to us. And it's gotten to the point where it's so easy. You could take your phone number with you. Like,
yes. And they used to have with the, after they relaxed on the phone number, then their big thing was like, you're stuck in a contract, but then the competition was like, we'll buy out your contract to get you for 2 years.
Yep.
So now they all abolished that. And now it's just like, oh, but if you want the phone, you'll pay installments on the phone until it's paid for. So that way we have you at least for 2 years, because we just recently did that. I'm upgrading this to the next 2-3 iterations later. So my Flip 4 will be a Flip 7 soon with more memory. And my wife has a Galaxy S9, which is ancient.
I have a Galaxy Note S22 Ultra,
and she's she's going to get the 26 because they're giving a good deal. Because they recently decided that my plan was old enough. Because I also came from Sprint, that my plan was old enough that they were like, we have this new plan we're offering you guys because you've been with us for so long. And I was like, well, I've never heard that before.
Yeah, they just want you off of the old plan, as well as they probably changed how the data and some of it works, so it may not be connected. Because I used to have to do this.
They actually didn't, because a lot of the deals they wanted to give me were only with the newer plans. Mm-hmm. So what they did was just like, we'll actually offer a shorter bill for this, like a smaller bill.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to give you Hulu as well. So you're going to have Netflix and Hulu for free. And I was just like, so you're giving me a $15 cheaper price and you're giving me more options. And because they were incentivizing the deal even more, I was just like, oh, I guess I'll upgrade my phone, because now you're guaranteeing that I get this much for my phone instead of this much.
So
if I'm with the new plan.
Given what I used to do, because I did tech and data support, some retention and sales and things for Nextel and then Sprint back in the day, what's likely happened is your older account has a data or phone service plan that they've kind of grandfathered over, but to connect with the newer updates to the system and other things, they're trying to get you off that plan into their new setup. So that's why they're willing to get you switched over, because they're probably using some of the tools from the retention department and other stuff to give you the free bonuses and things, which take advantage of them. I'm not complaining at all.
No,
take them. But
I'll take advantage of them.
That's probably why they're
CenturyLink near us. I was paying $80, and then they said, hey, under the umbrella, we actually got a faster fiber called Quantum Fiber that is being absorbed into CenturyLink. So they're like, CenturyLink is the umbrella, and Quantum Fiber is just one of the sections. But they're like, we're going to offer you better hardware, more consistent speeds, and just more features, but we're going to make it $5 cheaper for you. And I was just like, well, then switch me over. And then the guy came in with all the new hardware, and he's like, this is all free. And I was like, all right,
cool.
Move my arm.
Right.
And they were like, oh, by the way, your price that you got that's $5 less, it's locked in for life. So until you move, it's that price. We can't raise that price like other guys could.
Oh, nice. Yeah, sometimes it benefits you.
I was like, I can tell when a deal's good and I can tell when a deal's rotten. So.
Yeah. And I think that's right back, and I'll finish it off as I said earlier, and Chase is agreeing. It's hard to tell if a deal is good or bad if you don't know what the deal is.
Yeah.
That's my worry. Because I'm going to be like, they're hoping you'll look at a deal and go, oh, this 25% off sounds not too bad. Maybe I'll get it, without knowing, this other people, they get it 75% off. Yeah, they're not raising the price, but if you're getting less of a discount than somebody else, they're still effectively raising the price. You're paying more. Even if the number isn't going up, yours still went up from what they're getting, which I still view as raising the cost. That's like stores that before Black Friday raise the cost on all their stuff, so that on Black Friday they'd be like, we dropped it 50%, and it's like still somehow more
same
expensive.
with Amazon, that you'll see like a piece of furniture is on sale, and you're like, it was that price normally, so you raise the price just to say it's 46% off now when it was already that.
Which is great to go back to like the price tracker sites that look at that, and like you see it spike way up and then come down part way, like it's a huge sale, and it's like, but it's higher than it was here.
Yeah.
And
but the last part I'll end is, I think most of this dynamic pricing is for people like Christian, because he's horrible when he shops at grocery stores. Because when he needs eggs, he just says, this looks good. And I'm like, did you check the eggs inside? No. How do you know what you're going to get? And I taught him how to do that. And then other times he'll be like, I want chips. I guess these are 2 for $7. Great deal. I'll get 2. And I was just like, but what are they normally? $3.50 each. So the deal is not a deal.
You're just paying the amount you would pay anyways. Yeah.
It doesn't say must buy 2. It says you get 2 for $7 because they're $3.50 each. Do you want 2 bags of chips? Well, no. Okay, then get 1 bag of chips for $3.50.
Shano and I catch people at the grocery store doing that all the time. Like they'll just like a dude will walk up and grab like a, like 24 pack of beer, but actually you could have got like, like the 40, like the big 45 pack box or whatever for cheaper per bottle.
Yeah.
Or
I
vice
found out
versa.
the other day it's $1 difference or more actually at Taco Bell. If you get the 3 taco deals and you add sour cream, it's more money than if you got the 3 taco supremes and just got rid of the tomatoes.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I guess your system can't figure out that it should be the same goddamn price.
It's like with us, like we go through a lot of sodas in here. We've got, the mini fridge out here and so forth, and we just buy the bigger cases because it's just cheaper than getting the smaller group.
What I do like, because people have kind of cracked the code and they're okay with it, is Costco, because Costco has the stars and the prices, where if the prices end in 97, that means that's going off of their shelves. It's not being carried after a while.
Yeah, Walmart and Sam's Club has something similar too.
So when you see something's ending in 97, if you really want it, now's the time to get it.
Right.
And it might be the same price it's always been, and it might be drastically lower. I've gotten stuff for crazy low prices, but at least right then and there, they're upfront saying, we're getting rid of these, without saying clearance or anything, because clearance is horrible at places like Target and Walmart, where it's like $1 off, and you're like, that's not clearance, that's sale. But
agreed.
Pricing is a mess.
This Sony discussion turned out way better than I thought it would. Actually, this has been great.
This has been awesome.
All right, let's jump over to the speed run real quick. Oh, man, I keep coughing. I got a head cold. All right, so Nintendo surprise announced 2 more Kirby Air Rider amiibos. God help my bank account, because these are like 50 a piece, even though they are basically 2 amiibos in one. I thought they are.
They're more.
Oh, shit. I'm still going to have to get them.
That's why I put on the end.
Oh, 55. Jesus. Oh, all right. So Sword Kirby and the Dragoon Rider, and then Noir, DDD, and Hydra are the 2 that are being announced. I've already tried to pre-order them. They haven't popped up yet. King DDD and the Tank Star will release finally on July 2nd. I have that pre-ordered. So I'm just waiting for it to come in. But yeah, these are the highest priced amiibos to date, as DDD is priced at 55, as you put.
So King Day, if you didn't get locked in the lower price, is now 55.
Yeah, I think I've got them at a little bit lower. But, I mean, I remember when I picked up the first 2 from this set, I also picked up Hades 2 for Switch 2, the physical copy, and they were the exact same cost. So I basically bought Hades 2 3 times. And, like, I get it why these are more of a premium for things. They're not expecting people to buy every damn one of them. And these I expected to cost more because it is technically 2 amiibos, because you can hot swap them out. Now, if we get a normal single amiibo for that cost, I'm going to have to reconsider if I'm going to continue this set, because Jesus Christ, that is a lot of money. So
yeah, because we definitely overpaid for the Street Fighter amiibo.
For sure. Nintendo
those went down to like $11-12 during this holiday season. I'm like,
yeah, Nintendo really needs to win this lawsuit.
I thought it was going to be like a Dark Souls or a Diablo amiibo situation, where it's like third-party amiibo is going to be gone in a second. I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah, Street Fighter, they're everywhere. They're not. They're nice ones. They're bigger.
Their amiibo cards are scarce as hell, but
I still haven't found a. I found 2 packs. That's it.
Everywhere.
This is one of those cases where we're really hoping Nintendo wins that lawsuit. Like, let's get that money back and bring this stuff back down. March 10th, Nintendo Switch Online will be adding Mario Tennis and Mario Clash to Nintendo Switch Online Virtual Boy. So if you spent that money and got one of the adapters, you actually get to enjoy these. And then Mario and Donkey Kong is coming for the Game Boy Advance Nintendo Switch Online, which is a really fun game, by the way. I absolutely love the Mario and Donkey Kong series. They did a great job for the GBA one.
That's the best one of the series, I think. I like that one the best.
I go back and forth between the original one for Game Boy, which I really liked what they did with that, but I think this one with more of the toy mechanic is really good.
Well, I mean, yeah, the toy mechanic ones, because the ones they made, like March of the Minis and the other ones on like Wii U, were a little much. This one was the right balance for me.
The DS and those releases were kind of fun, but this was a good start, and it's a good fit to have on there, so I'm happy about that. Legacy of Kain Defiance Remastered has been indefinitely delayed on Switch and Switch 2 with no cause yet given. It's released on other systems, so it's on PlayStation and Xbox, PC, but for some reason the Switch and Switch 2 versions have been delayed, both digitally and physically. Because the physical copy doesn't come out for a couple months, I think, for all of that.
As long as that doesn't get delayed, otherwise I'm going to cut somebody.
Yeah. I just want to see where it goes. And lastly, Gang of Dragon is at risk of cancellation after NetEase cut funding after finding that the game needs about $44 million to finish development. So not only will this possibly stop the game from coming out, but it will likely lead to the Yakuza series creator Toshiro Nagoshi's closure. Nagoshi is currently trying to find investors to finish development and to buy the studio out. I'm not going to lie, like I have fun with some of the Yakuza games, but I really liked how this one was looking and was excited to play it. So this
and the reason the Yakuza series are cheaper is because they just reuse the assets.
Yeah.
Right. But like this one, also for Yakuza, like they bring in different voice actors and stuff, but this one paid the money to actually get a recognizable person as the lead and built it up, and like it was looking really good. Like I loved how the fighting looked in it. I loved how the world looked. Like I was actually excited to play this one. So if NetEase cancels this, I'm going to be fucking pissed.
If you need any additional doom and gloom, NetEase also owns Grasshopper as well.
No, you bastards.
So,
yeah, that's more doom and gloom for sure. This is why I hate buyouts and company stuff. Like I know they're doing it sometimes because they need the finances, but like I really hope
this one the creator was wooed by Tencent, so he left Sega. So I'm half expecting him to be like, Sega, if you fund my game, I'll come back.
Yeah, come on, baby, take me back. Take me back. I'm good.
I'll make F-Zero GX2. I'll make Super Monkey Ball 4. Anything.
Yeah, I won't leave again. Just take me back, baby.
Yeah, wait till Nintendo comes out and says, "Oh yeah, we'll fund it. Bring that shit to Switch too."
Remember when we funded Bayonetta? We'll fund your game, but you have to make it exclusive to us. And they're like, "Oh, fuck."
I want that to happen just because of the online meltdown of people freaking out. If like Gang of Dragons is now on a Switch 2 exclusive, it'll be out next year, and they're just like, "What the?" They would lose their minds.
Well, that's what made Duskblood so great. It was From Software is like, we do not want a Bloodborne remake. Close your company if you have to. Duskblood's on Switch 2 now. There's an idea.
Oh God, we've been listening to people complaining about Bayonetta 2 for like over 10 years now because that's still a Nintendo exclusive. And they're like, it should come out everywhere. And they're like, yeah, we funded it. You know, it's the same reason for
Camilla, when you do
Bloodborne.
Ask Nintendo.
Yeah, Sony funded Bloodborne, so we're never going to see that go anywhere else. You know, same reason, same logic.
Well, yeah.
But once again, if it's the Sony side of it, it makes sense. If it's anybody else, it's unfair. It needs to be stopped. So yes, they're mining that copium and everything else, as you said there, Stephen. All right, let's jump over to the big question for this week. This is kind of a fun one. Which honestly, they're all kind of fun ones. But so after the recent loud complaints from the vocal minority of the Pokemon fandom, I still believe that for every piece of hardware, and this is me speaking, there is always one title that it just puts you over the top on getting it. What were some of your favorite titles over the generations to do this? So as background, people are absolutely flipping out now over Pokopia as the most recent release, as well as Pokemon Winds and Waves. being exclusive to the Switch 2, and people are like, I don't want to get that. I shouldn't have to buy a Switch 2 to get it. I need all these games. There's not enough games for it. And my idea is there's always one title that pushes you over the edge to get a game, no matter what system it is. That is the one that makes you decide, I want this hardware. So I have a bit of a list. I'll probably trim it down, but Steven, we'll start with you.
So when I was younger, it was more along the lines of because of how I could procure these systems that it had to be a really good game that came with it.
Yeah.
And for the most part, I made good decisions. Some of them I had, until you get a new game, you got to finish what you have. So I'll start from the oldest, and that was my Nintendo. I did not get Mario Brothers Pack-In. I did not get it. I pretty much got TMNT first because that's what was being offered as a bundle deal at my local service merchandise for people who have back pain right now. And that was what I had to start with. And I was told by my parents, like, if you want another game, finish what you have. So I had to finish TMNT. Luckily, after that, I went on to Mega Man 2. So that's good. But then eventually when I could get ask for a Sega CD, I was big into anime at the time before it was getting really big, and I saw Lunar. So Lunar caught my eye, and that was the game that got me my Sega CD.
Nice.
And it was a perfect game to get with because all other iterations of Lunar have been garbage. Sega CD is the only superior version. Sticking to that. Dreamcast was kind of easy because everything else seemed to have issues because they had a kind of rocky launch with some of their games having a regular version and a hot new edition that worked perfectly because the first press discs were bad. But the one press disc that didn't have problems was Soul Calibur, and that game still to this day looks better than most of the other Soul Caliburs that came out. And it's just more fun overall. And then finally for PlayStation 1, because of the music, the game's bad by comparison now, but the music itself is what got me into it, and it used Red Book audio, but it was Battle Arena Toshinden because I was big into fighters back then because it was gaining steam that you could get like games that were almost arcade perfect. You didn't have to go to your arcade anymore. Past that though, I didn't really have a list because when I got the means, like a job, to procure these things, I shied away from having the one game, and I would always tell my friends, I'm like, I need 5 games to get me to get the system, because if I'm going in, I'm going all in, and I don't want to play one game and then just be sitting there saying, now what do I do with my life? It's kind of like finishing a season finale of a big series, and you're like, now what do we do?
I think so with that, and I was discussing this on Threads with people earlier today, which is what got me to think of this question. I said, even with ones, if you needed so many games, like say you need 5, there's still that 5th one that puts you over the edge. That's the one game that made you decide, okay, now I can get it. This is the one that finishes it. So that's why I kind of made the theory that there's always still one.
With newer systems, because from PS2 onward, I needed the rule of 5, because while PS2 did have a good amount of exclusives like Oni and Orphan and such that you couldn't get anywhere else, later on, like, okay, I can kind of get this on Xbox, I can kind of get this on PlayStation, I can kind of get this on GameCube. It got a little bit harder because then 5 would get knocked down to 4 and get knocked down to 3 because it's coming out on other systems.
Right.
So it's a lot harder to do that now. It's very easy to do on Switch because they have exclusives. But
nice. Chase, what about you?
Okay, so my list is going to be a little bit weird. I'll explain.
Nothing wrong with that.
Because for me, so the game that started it all, like that started my entire, like, kind of got when I was a little kid, got me into, like, really into gaming. Kind of have to give credit to it. It was a demo of the Neversoft Spider-Man for PS1.
Okay, anybody watching it just witnessed me become so old. They're like, I began as a child on PlayStation. I'm like, oh, I'd finished high school.
Well, yeah, okay, fair enough. I mean,
I'm just ancient. It continues, all right.
But yeah, because my grandma had a NES, and I think at one point I ended up getting a Super Nintendo, and then eventually upgraded to N64. Those were like gifts from her stuff. But like the PS1, when I saw it at the store, I was playing the demo of it, was playing the demo of the Spider-Man game, and that's what kind of got me hooked. And that
was a great game too.
And it was a freaking phenomenal game. Unfortunately, they got stuck in the Call of Duty prison.
Yeah,
but that's what made me ask for that for Christmas for my parents, and they got me that one. The thing with like the PS2 and the PS3 wasn't necessarily a game. It was more the fact that it was just like I just kind of knew, like in my kid brain, I was like the PS2 is two's better than one. So like I knew the PS2 was just a better PS1 that could play PS1 games, and so I would just be like, well, I want that next. So
you got to give Sony credit. At least they understood bigger numbers means newer system.
Yeah,
Microsoft could have learned that lesson a long time ago.
Yep. And so then like obviously the PS3 was the same way. I actually got a launch edition. Like I got a launch PS3, like the $600 one. I paid that price. I paid for half of it though, even though it was a Christmas gift, I made sure to pay for half of it. But and like and it was the same thing then. It was backwards compatible, and I knew the PS3 was obviously better, and so I wanted to play better.
Right.
But at one point I went to a friend's house and I played Halo with him co-op on the Xbox. That made me really want an original Xbox. Fortunately, I was never able to get an original Xbox because I was a kid, and I had trouble explaining to my parents that, well, no, I still have the PlayStation, but I just want an Xbox as well because I want these games that are on Xbox. And they were like, well, no, you've got a PlayStation. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm never going to win this argument. But once I got older and I had this thing called a job and money, disposable income, the game that eventually got an Xbox 360, and the game that sold me on the 360 was Gears of War and Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter, because I used to play a game on the PS2 called Rogue Trooper, and I really got me hooked into third-person shooters. And so then seeing Gears of War and Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter on the Xbox 360, I was like, I want this system. I want to play these games. And Gears of War ended up becoming one of my favorite shooter franchises of all time to play.
Well, it's led to me and you playing the entire series co-op.
Exactly.
I love that series.
And I'm like excited for E-Day. I'm just holding out for E-Day. But like
I just hope it gets an actual release. God, I will play it again if I get it.
And then, once I hit that disposable income, like, I was buying my own consoles. It didn't necessarily become about like that one game. What it came about was, what are my friends playing? Because obviously co-op's a huge part of my life, especially after I met Swan,
right.
RIP Game Vault. But, yeah, exactly, to this day. But I still remember those conversations. But so then it became about like, well, what's Swan playing? So then Swan would be like, well, I'm going to get this console first. I'm like, all right, well, if you're getting that, then, you're my co-op partner, so I'm riding with you. Like, I'm going to, because we want to still have that ability. Now you're at crossplay, so now that dynamic's changed actually quite a bit. But, it's just, and I think the only time that it's differed for us was Swan got the Xbox Series X first, and I actually got the PS5 first. But there's a reason for that. Swan had the pre-order for both. I couldn't get a pre-order for either one, and Swan was like, I'm going to cancel my pre-order for the PS5. I was like, don't cancel that. I'm going to transfer you the money. So that way at least I can get one of the two. So that was why that changed. So availability can also play a factor in this for me. But yeah, I guess for me it's a little bit odd, but I guess that one game that kind of started it all for me was actually Neversoft Spider-Man, which, to this day is awesome.
All right.
I just want to point out before you go, Jeremy, that he said his grandma had an NES.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
I'm a child of the 90s, man. Like,
I was a high school student in the 90s.
Well,
I graduated high school. Met my wife 26 years ago in the 90s.
We were born in the 1900s. Just remember that.
Oh, I hate when it's referred to like that.
Or people don't need to see your full ID because they're like, oh, I see the 19. You're good.
Or they just look at us.
Yeah.
That's a lot of gray. Yeah, you're in.
90s, the whole 90s kids thing is weird though. You're too old to be new school, but you're too new to be old school. You're just stuck in this weird middle ground.
I was a kid of the 80s. I was born the last 6 days of the 70s on Christmas Day. And then that gave me the 1980s to grow up in, which gave me all kinds of stuff to, play and do. And then my peak as a kid playing games was the 90s, starting with like Super Nintendo and stuff and jumping up to, I didn't get a PS1, but I was big into N64. So I remember originally asking for my NES because of Super Mario Brothers, Super Nintendo, obviously because of Mario World. The GameCube, though, as much as I liked Luigi's Mansion, the one that made me like, I need to get this because this was adult money time. I'd gotten married and had a family and was like, oh, do I want to get a GameCube right now or do I want to wait? I'm still playing my N64. And I saw Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2 Rogue Leader and went, oh no, I'm in. I'm getting it. I have to have that game. And I still play it now. It's still one of my favorite Star Wars games. Period. PlayStation 2, mind you, like I said, I didn't have a PS1. I had a roommate at the time that had the PlayStation 1. So I would play Gran Turismo 1 and 2 and Resident Evil and stuff on his system. And I had the N64. So we'd play, all those on there. But I remember after the PS2 came out, I was like, well, we can wait. We'd already bought a DVD player. I didn't need to get a PS2 for one. And Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec came out. And I went, oh, no, I need this. This is absolutely stunning. It just blew me away of how realistic it looked. And like, it still holds up surprisingly well now.
A really nice game.
Yeah. So it's also one of the first things I ever bought on eBay. Was a PS2 that came with Gran Turismo 3. I still have it. Still works. Same copy, same system. It's amazing. For Game Boy Color, I didn't have an original Game Boy. I borrowed a kid's Game Boy and got to play it. It was like a kid that was visiting as an exchange student. So he had one of those before I knew what it was, like cartridges full of games from like China. And I played the living hell out of Tiny Toons on there. I think it was like Buster's Bust Loose or something like that. It was really fun. I was impressed with how it played, but I never ended up getting a Game Boy. But later, when I was able to get a Game Boy Color, I jumped into that because of Link's Awakening DX. Because that's one of my favorite 2D Zelda games, and it was in full color. And I could go back and play all the old Game Boy games, so that was kind of my jumping off point for that. Game Boy Advance, I decided to get that because of Circle of the Moon, Castlevania. Because that was just an absolutely amazing title. And I enjoyed Symphony of the Night. By the time I actually got to kind of play it on other people's systems, not so much the N64 Castlevania, but it's a whole different thing. 3DS was kind of funny because what ended up getting me to get that was Super Street Fighter 4 3D Edition. Because I was just enthralled with having Street Fighter 4 on the go. And it was actually a good version. Like, I played so many hours on that version. I spent maybe 10 minutes with the weird 3D first-person view. Did you ever mess with that?
We have the Hado.
Oh, God, it was so bad. But it was so funny. That was also one of the first games I ever noticed that if you turned the 3D off, it ran at 60 FPS. Because I liked the 3D, but I was like, oh, it's way faster. And I'm not that big into frame rates. I'd rather it be a smooth frame rate. I'm not worried about being super high. But driving games and fighting games, I think, need a higher frame rate. So that was one of the ones I was like, all right, sorry, you're in 2D mode. I need that smooth gameplay for this. The Vita, even though it wasn't my favorite system, I decided to get that because of Uncharted Golden Abyss. Because that was a surprisingly good-looking handheld. Like, because, Uncharted was part of why I got a PS3.
It's still locked to that system, too.
Yeah, and it sucks you can't even play it on a PlayStation TV because it requires the touchpad. They couldn't just map those to another button very easily. And I think people modded it so you could play it that way, but I have to have a modded Vita TV to do it, which I've done.
It wasn't like people who, I don't know, removed stuff from Skyward Sword to make it playable on the Wii. So.
Right. The Dreamcast, I was agreed with you, Steven. Soul Calibur was just Like my first thing I looked at and was amazed was seeing that whale, the killer whale jumping through the dock as Sonic's running away. Like that was the image everybody saw that was like, wow, this is what the Dreamcast can
For
do.
me, it was the kata routine. So seeing Killick,
Yes.
Killick's been my main since he appeared.
Me too. Holy shit, we both like something.
The game where he wasn't in it, I was like, this game sucks.
Agreed. Yeah, Killick is one of my favorites. My God, Steven, have we broken the chain? Did we both finally like something?
It's just a character chain, though. It's not a game chain.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll take what we can get.
Right. A win's a win. Excuse me. For Xbox, I was hardcore against Xbox when it first got announced. I was like, why is Microsoft getting into console gaming? They have no place to be here. And then I got to play Halo, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to shut up now. This is a lot of fun. And Amanda and I have a rule that if you start a new job or if you leave a job, your first and your last check, you get to spend on something for yourself. So I was leaving working at Sam's Club, where Amanda and I had met and when we got married and everything. And on my last check, I took that and bought a Halo bundle that they had inside Sam's Club, which came with like a couple controllers and Halo and some other stuff so I could play it. And that's what I had. That's the same way I got like one of my drones and a DSLR camera and stuff as well over time. And then lastly, this one I thought was kind of funny. The Series X I ended up getting not because of a new game, but because of the Xbox Series X upgrade for Forza Horizon 4. Because I play the Horizon games to a ridiculous level. I love them. And just being able to play that much better. And I kind of knew there was going to be other games I wanted to play. But that's the one that sold me to get it on launch. Which it's kind of funny. You guys are talking about like, Steven, you got both pre-orders, but we're going to cancel. Chase, you had to go with him. I missed the day of pre-order for both of them because we had a hurricane, like a 1-day small hurricane. So when everybody sold out at a weird time, I got to GameStop the next day because my friend was working there as one of the managers. And when they opened, and they still had an allotted amount for pre-orders. So I was able to get both of them. Like middle of the day because they hadn't opened yet because of the hurricane stopping it before, and they didn't like pull the allotment to sell anywhere else. So even they were completely sold out, I got both of them, which was funny at launch because I think I got my Series X and then like 5 days later I got my PS5. It was a very busy week.
So. I feel like that GameStop has been your diamond in the rough because everything from that story to they just happened to have a copy of Generations Pack. I was just like, what is this?
Oh, no. If you want to talk financial luck. Oh, when they opened, I walked in there and I was looking at, they had video cables and they had mislabeled one for the Wii for $5 for component cables. It wasn't the one for the Wii. It was the freaking GameCube component cables that go for hundreds. I picked that bitch up. I walked over, I checked out and did not say a word until I had that receipt in hand. So I paid $5 for the $400 GameCube component cables, and I'm still using them. So yeah, I go to that store a lot. I still go there. I worked there for a while. Shit, I don't care. It was hilarious. So, all right. Well, I think that about wraps up everything for tonight. This has been a longer episode, but I think we've had some fun discussions, which has been nice.
It's all the dynamic pricing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't
Dynamic
mind having a little
lengths.
bit. No shit. But at least everybody, we could all talk. We all had something to add into it, which is what we wanted. I'm Steven. if you're you're listening to the audio version, you'll have to look at the video to explain. Just the way Mario's face is folded. It's just like the two Mario eyes just staring at me like, what you doing? Like, I'm not emulating. Don't look at me like that. All right. If you're listening to the audio version of the podcast, you can find the video version over at YouTube at our channel. It's youtube.com/ZenspathCom. If you're watching the video version and you want to get us downloaded for audio, you can listen to us on the go or whatever. Anywhere you have your podcast app or where you find your podcast, look up the Zenspath Entertainment Network Podcast and you'll find us there. Leave us a review on any of the podcast ones that you do. 5-star, whatever they have for that. We would appreciate it. Hopefully you've enjoyed the show and can just tell people how you like it. Join us on our Discord, which you can find at zenspath.com. to let us know where you've left these reviews, because it's kind of hard to find them, and I would love to be able to start calling people out and mentioning good reviews that we get. It'd be kind of fun. If you're watching the YouTube version, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, let us know what was the game that got you over the top to buy a particular piece of hardware over, your gaming life. I'm still going to stick to that theory that there's always one, even if you want a group, there's always one that puts you over the top. We would love to be able to hear that. Share it with your friends if you like the show. I've ran into a few people over this last couple of trips, including one guy that was an ex-UFC fighter who was really nice, and a couple other engineers and things. Hopefully they're listening to the show. If you are, it was great meeting you guys. I hope to hear from you all again, and I hope you enjoyed it. But yeah, I think that's about it for today. So this has been episode 211. Thanks again, Chase and Steven, and we're out. Peace.
When this episode drops, get your Mario tickets.
This has been a production of the Zenspath Entertainment Network Podcast by the staff at Zenspath.com. The show is created and edited by Jeremy Powers. You can find the video edition of the show on our YouTube channel at ZenspathCom. The audio edition is located wherever you find your podcasts. Links to all versions of the show, as well as to our Discord where you can talk with us directly, is located at www.zenspath.com. Please leave us a like, thumbs up, comment, and review where you can to help us grow.